up, guys? Welcome back to Call Me Old Fashioned, where we talk everything bourbon, whiskey, and of course, old fashions. Today, we're going to be diving into a little bit of the kind of older bottles that I have, stuff I haven't touched in a little bit. Kind of want to revisit some of the stuff I've been neglecting my bottles, to say the least. So, a couple of them that we're going to dive into tonight. We're going to dive into more than this, but we're going to start off with a little Wild Turkey Kentucky Spirit. This is a single barrel, by the way. This one I reviewed, I don't know how long ago. This one was bottled on November 21st, 2023. Brickhouse number 3 from barrel 3428. Now, this is one of my favorite Wild Turkey bottles up until I got the rare breed, and then it was like, that's all I drank. That's hence why this one kind of got a little neglected, to say the least. So we're going to dive into some of these, kind of let you know what my thoughts are too. Now that they've been open a while, have they oxidized? The flavor changed much? A little bit of that, a little bit of that. So welcome to the stream. Ooh, holy shit. Start myself off with a heavy pour there, did I? I can see on this one, got a little bit of that cork stickage in there. It is what it is. Anyway, boys, happy Friday. Welcome to the stream. Glad to have you. If you haven't already, let me know what you're sipping on. Well, let's get this Friday started. Let's lock that in place. Lock that in place. Let's go ahead and pull up the Wild Turkey website. There we go. All right, for the Kentucky Spirit, I thought I had the mash bill on this page. I could be wrong. Award winnings: 2018, 2021, 2021. Ultimate Spirits Challenge, 92 points, and the San Francisco World Spirits Competition, gold medal. Kind of interesting. You know what's funny? Wild Turkey has so many different products that are all super similar. So I'm going to go ahead and dive into this one. I mean, to be honest, smells like every other Wild Turkey on the nose. Like, when you're drinking a Wild Turkey product, you bring it to your nose, you're like, all right, I know what that is. That rich caramel vibes to it. Oh my God, a little cut on the tip of my tongue there. What's the proof? 101, as always. I feel like Wild Turkey is like known for just sticking at that 101 proof. It's nice, it's sweet, it's caramel forward. A little touch of vanilla. Dude, I haven't cut it, tip my tongue. We're gonna die, boys. Black Bear in the chat says hi. Welcome to stream, baby. Happy Friday. Yeah, it doesn't really give you much on the Kentucky Spirit, especially because of the single barrel stuff. What's it say? Taste: full, round body, layered with rich flavors of vanilla, almond, and honey. They forgot rich caramel. I can see the honey though. Aroma. Oh, I was on taste. My bad. Rich oak, vanilla notes, caramel, and leather. I don't get no leather in there. I'll be tricking myself though. After I read the tasting notes, I'm like, oh, there it is. No, it's not. Don't let me lie to you. It says finish as long as smooth. No, not correct. Process: 101 proof from a single barrel, aged 8 years. Well, that's news to me. I didn't know it was an 8-year age on this. I should compare this to the 8-year. Not right now, but eventually. Eventually we'll go to that. So I wanted to break into these bottles in particular for a couple reasons. One, I haven't tried them in a while. And two, I need an excuse to try the holiday toast. This looks like an AI. Does that mean I look handsome? Like, what does that mean? I don't know what that means, bro. No, I've been looking for an excuse to break into the holiday toast. I've been saving it for the holidays. Now, this one's obviously a single barrel, but I love this bottle. Absolutely love it. But that's also where, like, the more I drink, the faster it's going to oxidize. You know what I mean? There's just pros and cons to this stuff. North Florida says, enjoying a Pappy cigar with Penelope cigar batch as I post in the Discord, which everyone should join. Guys, if you aren't in the Discord, join in now. Also, I'm not going to talk about it now, but later in the stream, we're going to talk about the fantasy football, second annual fantasy football for the Call Me Old Fashioned. We're moving to 12 teams, all that kind of stuff. We'll break into it. If you guys are interested in that, definitely let me know. We'll figure it out. You know what? Kind of thoughts on this bottle, just as I'm like drinking it. Like, it's good, don't get me wrong. There's nothing wrong with this bottle. I mean, if you see it, you can pick it up. I think it's about the same price as Rare Breed, though. It's about the same price as all their other stuff. I wouldn't say this is something I would gravitate towards over like the 70th anniversary or the 8-year itself. Personally, I like the 101 just as good. So, Horsepower in the chat says, just tuning in. How is that Wild Turkey bottle? I've seen it all over, seen it all the time, but haven't quite pulled the trigger on it yet. So this one I've had a while, right? So this is something I'm just kind of going back to some of my older bottles to just kind of revisit, say hello. You know, I like it. It's good. I just don't know, like, as I'm sipping it now, would I choose this over all the other ones I have? Because I have quite a bit. I have the Rare Breed Rye and the Bourbon, 101, 8-year, and the 70th. I probably would gravitate towards like the 70th anniversary 101 if I'm just making cocktails. I feel like this one just kind of gets left to be like that redheaded stepchild. Because if I wanted something high proof, a little bit neater, I'm going Rare Breed. You know, it's just kind of like a weird in between bottle. If you really are a big fan of single barrels, because that's what this is, then I think it would be still a good pickup. It's good. Don't get me wrong. There's nothing bad about this. It's sweet. It's traditional wild turkey though. 101 proof. I like it, but it doesn't like push me off the ledge to be like, hey, you got to get it now. You know, compared to having all the other ones. I wish it had a little bit of spice. I wish it had a little bit of something that differentiated it from the other bottles. But if you find it and you just are a big fan of wild turkey and you like the normal wild turkey kind of flavors, then this is a good one. I need some water. I got the wife's Stanley Cup. Lordy. So we'll just kind of keep it moving through these, and then that way we can kind of touch on a couple of the older ones as well. So we're going to slide this to the side. It's good, but it kind of reminds me of why it hasn't been touched in a while too. Let's move into one of the sherry finishes. Actually, New Riff sherry finish, Midwinter's Night Dram is a port finish. I'll probably move into the Midwinters. I know I haven't had this longer than the New Riff. He says, it's good to know. I grabbed an 8-year, really enjoy it, and I love the Russell stuff, so maybe I'll stick to those. I mean, I love all the Russell stuff. But yeah, to be honest, I would pick up probably a Russell single barrel over that all day. 100%. No questions asked. All right, let's dive into this Midwinter's Night Dram real quick. I'll pull up. Dun, 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 dun. There we go. This is one of the first like wine finishes that I was even remotely okay with drinking. It's just overpriced. I think is the complaint. I think this. Damn, I can't remember how much it was. I think it was like $150, in that range, give or take a couple bucks. But obviously, it's out of Park City, Utah. I love Utah, one of my favorite states. But you know, when it comes to the whiskey stuff, I don't know. Don't know. North Florida Bear says Russell's 10 is one of my favorites. Absolutely. It's one of the most affordable. I mean, it could be up there for one of the best bang for the bucks. It's got the spice, it's got the sweetness level, it has the age statement. It's a little thin, is one of the remarks I think I remember saying about it. I haven't had it in a minute. I think my bottle's on its last leg up there. We could probably finish that one off tonight. But it's really good. It's one of the few bottles that, like, when I run out, I'll pick up another, just because it's that good. So Midwinter's Night Dram, though. This is Act 12, Scene 2. Proof is 98. I think it's on here too. 98.6, yeah. So right under 100 proof. And this is obviously a blend of rye whiskeys. Yeah, a blend of straight rye whiskeys finished in port barrels. Limited edition. Bottled at a High West distillery, Park City, Utah. So, I haven't touched that one in a while. I will say this one's got a lot more wine forward, right? As it's sat and got some air on it. When I say I haven't drank in a while, like, we're talking months. But, like, you get all cherry, red fruits, raisins, grapey kind of vibes to it. It's nice, but it doesn't have enough spice. It doesn't have that kick to it. Maybe that's because the bottle's been sitting. I feel like that was my complaint with the other one. It didn't have enough spice. A little, and I expect that from a blend of ryes. Like, if you hand it to me and didn't tell me, I probably wouldn't guess that it's a rye. To be honest, I like it kind of a little bit more, though, from the first time. The first time, I think part of me was, like, fresh on spending that kind of money on one bottle. The other part of me was like, I don't know if I really like wine finish or port finish in this case. This one's kind of like juicy juice, though. Like, that's what it reminds me of, is like just little square container of juicy juice. But it's good. It just doesn't. It needs a little bit of higher proof. That's what it needs. It needs to be higher proof. The best, like, spice part is gonna be on, like, the back of the palate, like towards, like, the finish. But it's sweet. It's candy. Kind of reminds me of like a, I don't know, cheesecake, strawberry cheesecake, raspberry cheesecake, whatever red fruit cheesecake you want to name off. That's what it reminds me of. But it's solid stuff. I probably should visit that bottle more often than I do. But I will say, like, this bottle in particular, it kind of gets left to the wayside, because when I drink a wine finish, I'm going to this one or I'm going to the Woodford's. The Woodford's has a really good sherry finish. Horsepower says, I had Midwinter's Night a few years ago, and it was solid, but definitely overpriced. I have a Starlight sherry finish store pick currently that is fantastic. Starlight's coming out with a bunch of stuff right now. I haven't had any other, like, sherry finishes, so I can't really speak on that. But that's my one issue with it too. Like, I couldn't, like, if I saw it at a store today, I'm not picking it up for that. You know what I mean? I'm not spending $150. I'd spend like $65 to $75. I probably wouldn't do that. I don't want another one. Like, this is good that I have it, but I'm not the biggest fan of this in particular that I'm going to run and go get another one. You know? Like, I have it. It's cool. I'll move on to the next bottle. Jerry in the chat says, howdy. I'm bouncing back and forth with E.H. Taylor single barrel and E.H. Taylor straight from the barrel. I think that's what it was. Can't really tell much of a difference. Probably leaning more towards straight from the barrel. I mean, E.H. Taylor, there's nothing wrong with any of them, really. They're all fantastic. But yeah, I mean, they're all super similar. To be honest, most of the Buffalo Trace stuff is super similar. El Diablo says, I just saw that new Riff on a shelf about an hour ago. I mean, it's kind of old. Like, it's on their website too. You can get it for MSRP if you want to ship it to yourself. Let's break into that bottle now, right? We talked about the Midwinters. We've talked about the Wild Turkey Kentucky Spirit. Let's break into the New Riff. Now, I am a big fan of the New Riff, like in general. New Riff, anything. I've not had one bottle from New Riff that I'm like, you know what? That's not good. That doesn't fit me. Ooh. Jerry says that beard is glorious, my man. Hey, glad you noticed. Glad you noticed. It is. It's looking all right today. It's looking all right. It's getting long. I don't think it's been this long in a long time. Maybe ever. I haven't been to a barber in a hot minute, so let's go ahead and pour this one up. Ooh, this one's dark. Now, this one's going to be different because this is a mash bill of 100% malted rye. This is finished in sherry cast, and it's also barrel proof. It's a 6-year-old 100% malted rye whiskey, and it's coming in at 111.5 proof. So one of the things I remember drinking this one after the Midwinters before I go, this one just has the edge because, again, they're both ryes. This one has that malt to it, which kind of fits more with what I would personally like, but also because of the age statement on this one's at least 6 years, and it's also higher proof by like more than 12 proof points difference from the Midwinter. For me, it just brings it that way. Artful says, cheers, call me old fashioned. I haven't been impressed with any of the recent Midwinters that I've tried. This one I've had for a while, so I wanted to revisit it because I kind of gave it shit to begin with. I'm not the biggest wine finish guy in general. The Midwinter isn't bad. It's just, I don't know. I feel like maybe I expect too much from bottles that are like $150. You know, maybe that's me. But I think it's good. I think it's good. Like, I don't know. What is it? Rye. Bro, I was blanking there. I couldn't figure out if it was bourbon or rye for a second. It's good rye whiskey, but it's not like, it's not spicy enough. Now that it's oxidized, it's more like fruit and berry forward. But let's go ahead and pull up the New Riff website. This one has a little bit more of details on this one. Yeah, 6-year age, 100% malted rye. This one says 100 proof. Oh, that's not the sherry finish. It's close enough. This is exactly what it is, bottle-wise, except for mine is just finished in sherry cask. So they basically just keep trying to find ways to use their same bottles in a different way a lot of times. This one says 100 proof. Most of New Riff's bottles are bottles and bonds. That's fantastic. Fantastic, by the way, boys. That aged perfectly. That had to have gotten that perfect level of air. That is, maybe I'm a wine guy. Maybe I'm a wine finish connoisseur now. Kidding. All right. Well, I'm gonna scratch the website then. This bottle, by the way, not the one I'm drinking, but if you just wanted the New Riff's 100% malted rye whiskey, it's $64.99 on their website. Kind of took me off guard there. Northward says switching up to the short barrel cigar batch. Number 3, gauge 21. Raph says, "Oh snap! Guess who's back? Back." And he get like one of those Eminem clips where he does it real quick, so I don't get demonetized. So just a small one. So every time when you pop in, I can hit that button. Yeah. Horsepower says, I don't think I've had any of the New Riffs that I didn't like yet. New Riff is one of my favorite distilleries right now. They kind of have been between New Riff, Redwood Empire, Still Austin. Those have been like my 3 like go-tos. they don't put. Oh, my only complaint about New Riff is they're not putting out a bunch of different varieties. You know, they have this, but then they also have the same thing that's not finished in the sherry. I have their 8-year bourbon, 8-year rye, their single barrel bourbon. I've had the single barrel rye, but I don't have it with me. What did they come out with? The Winter Reserve or Winter something? And I haven't had that one. I hear that's just all chocolate, like just almost like chocolate liqueur. So I passed on that one. But other than that, like, what do they have? You know what I mean? They just have like their basic stuff. Now I do know their single barrel programs move into 6-year age rather than just 4-year age, which is exciting. But I was hoping they would come out with something crazy, right? I don't. Maybe I'm asking too much. Kind of like how Woodford's does the distillery only releases for their distillery series, where they have the chocolate whisk redux, sherry, malted finish one. They come out with like the honey finish. They come out with all different types of stuff, small batch stuff. I was hoping New Riff to do something similar, because I haven't had anything from them. Oh, they had the Silver Grove. I'm talking shit for no reason. I haven't had the Silver Grove either. I hear that's fantastic too. So, North says I have a Total Wine New Riff single barrel. I call it the root beer float. It has a root beer note on the nose and the palate with vanilla. Great, really great bottle. I have mine's a Total Wine single barrel as well, or maybe mine's Publix or Costco. Fuck, I can't remember. I mean, that's pretty cool. I don't remember if mine has that or not though. Raph says I need to pop in more often to get my bourbon kick because I haven't bought a new bottle in like 3 months. Congratulations. I'm proud of you. I wish that was me too. I would save so much money. Bourbon Gator says I haven't had New Riff. I have never had a New Riff that I thoroughly enjoyed. Really? Are you saying that you don't like New Riff? Just to make sure I read that right? It's kind of like the opposite reaction that I was expecting, but I mean, that's kind of the fun part about bourbon, right? Everybody has their own palate. Everybody likes their own things. Some people say like the New Riff single barrels are hit or miss for them. I have yet to have a single barrel that I haven't loved. I absolutely love the New Riff single barrels. I like them better than I like the 8-year. Now I think the 8-year is like a solid pour though. Really great in old fashioned too. It's a really expensive old fashioned though, but like that's literally what I keep using it for. Bourbon Gator says doesn't hit for me. Okay. I mean, hey, you're entitled to your opinion. There's nothing wrong with your opinion. I'm curious to why though. Like, I wonder if like you ever did a blind, would you think that same way? Maybe it's the bottle for me, bro. Because I think the bottle is sexy looking, bro. It's like my favorite bottle on the shelf, and I just took them off the shelf. I put them down here because I'm moving them around. But hey, you're entitled to your opinion. There's nothing wrong with that. North Florida says like and subscribe and join the fun every week. We do go live every Friday around 10 p.m. lately. I may be trying to switch it up. I may start going live during the week. I'm testing the waters. We'll see. Austin in the chat says, hello, everyone. What are we drinking? We're drinking everything. Every little thing. I'm revisiting some old bottles tonight, boys. If you haven't already, drop a like, subscribe. But we're revisiting old bottles. I want to give all of my bottles some love that I can. Obviously, I'd never be able to do that one stream. But we tried the Wild Turkey Kentucky Spirit. Broke that back open. We tried the Midwinter's Night Dram. Just kind of see the changes. Then we moved on to the New Riff Kentucky Straight Malted Rye Whiskey Finished in Sherry. It's I have a cut on my tongue. It's gonna be a long night. I will say this one feels more like a traditional rye with a little bit of fruit accents to it. Surprisingly enough, the port typically is a lot drier. Where I take a sip, kind of dries me out a little bit. And it wasn't like that this time. The sherry finish this time is the one that's kind of drying me out a little bit. take a sip, it kind of dries your palate out. Very strange. It's got a lot of spice though on that finish. It's incredible. This is by far my favorite wine finish, sherry finish, port finish, whatever you want to call it, bottle in general. So I'm a big fan of that one. For somebody that's not typically into the wine finish stuff. Arvel says the 8-year was just okay. I actually like their single malt the best. Okay. I don't know if that would be me. To be honest, like their 8-year rye, their 8-year bourbon are great. I like the single barrels better just because they're a little bit higher proof. They're also cheaper. But 8-year bourbon, the 8-year rye make fantastic old fashions. I just like what sucks is they're just like you make an old fashioned. It's like a $10, $15 old fashioned, even if you're making it at home. That's crazy. Bourbon Gator says very possible that I was heavy on the new riffs early on. I'll have to revisit. You should. Maybe don't buy your own bottle. Find somebody that already has one. Take a little sippy sip, right? I never recommend if like revisiting a bottle you don't think you like and wasting your own hard-earned money on it. Find something you like. You don't have to like New Riff, but if you find somebody that has an open bottle, ask them for a sip, revisit it. I will say revisiting the bottles changes my perspective on them quite often. I crack a bottle, I'll think something, I'll go back 2 weeks later, it's slightly different. I try it 3-4 months down the road, I'm thinking something totally different. So, to each his own. Horsepower says, Austin, I just killed a Bardstown Weeded, deciding what bottle to get out of the cabinet next. What do you got in there? What's in the cabinet? I have the Bardstown Weeded. I don't drink it that often, though. Hard act to follow there. It is. Austin says, I'm drinking Rare Hair 15-year American whiskey. Okay. I don't think I've had any of the Rare Hair stuff. North Florida says, Short Bear is doing some great stuff with this Cigar Batch 3. Very good pour. North Florida, you like that better than the Penelope? I mean, I figure you do, but I'm just asking. I know you just drank the Penelope Cigar Batch. I don't think I like the Penelope Cigar Batch. Like, I tried it, and it has some good characteristics. It's just not what I was expecting. I don't know what I was expecting. It's just not what I was expecting. All right. I'm done with the sherry finish for now. The Dragon Con from Old Fourth just arrived. It's a banger. Okay. I mean, to be honest, I have zero clue what you're talking about. Not even the slightest. Maybe I haven't been paying attention to the bourbon game lately. I mean, I have, just haven't. I've been looking for the Old Fit 7-year, and honestly, like, this is what kind of kills it for me, like bourbon hunting or like enjoying to go find a new bottle. Because I don't want to go into a liquor store and just buy whatever every single time. Sometimes I just want to go buy one bottle directly. Bro, I went to like 4 different liquor stores over the past like 2 weeks after they've posted, being like, hey, look what I got. And I'm like, all right, cool. I'll go pick it up. And they don't have it. I go, what the fuck did you just post on social media that you did? Drives me absolutely up the wall. So I'll walk out. I won't buy nothing. Liz says, cheers, boys. Bourbon Geek says, anybody have any Amburana bottles they recommend? I like the Rio. Penelope Rio. It's Amburana and honey finished. Connor says, you think you can get that beard to reach your nips? Bro, it's almost there. It's long. My nip's only like right here. Bro, I could make it touch like this if I like bend over a little bit, a little lean to it. question is, can it reach your nips? Little Old Fashioned says, cheers. Cheers. What a weird time to come in, but glad to have you. Arful says, what'd you pick up? Austin, you picked that up for retail, worth $150? Bro, Austin's got deep pockets. He can do it. North Florida said, Old Fourth is Short Barrel Distillery in Atlanta. This bottle is their juice, 100. It's really good. He also loves the Rio. Bourbon Gator says, Rio is insanely good. Okay. I mean, I like the Rio, but it's sweet. I can only do like maybe one pour of it before I like check out. Everybody's a big fan of the Rio. Apparently, it's just me. I'm a little bitch. I like it. I don't love it. Hennessy says, Starlight cigar batch is crazy amount of Amberana. I love it. Really? I didn't know they had a little Amberana in there. Oh, she said Starlight. I thought she meant Short Barrel, like what North Florida was drinking. Starlight has a cigar batch too? Bro, I just like what I say earlier. Starlight has been coming out with a ton of stuff lately. The only one I have a Starlight right now is the Double Oak. This one is a single barrel selected by Sealbox, 115 proof, 4-year age. But this is like a French oak Double Oak. French oak Double Oak. Bum, bum. Right? That sounded like it was gonna go. My bad. It didn't hit. That's on me. Let me what sucks is I'm pushing my Lucky 7 back in rotation here. And we're gonna break into this Starlight real quick. Oh wait, was this the? Yeah. Damn, bro, that cut my tongue. That's fantastic, bro. I wasn't even paying attention when I was drinking it. Arful says, I don't like the Rio either, or Havana for that matter. Not my jam. Horsepower says, okay, boys, do I go with the Peerless store pick or Bowman single barrel or my Henry McKenna 10-year for the next pour? Peerless. Oh, wait. Store pick. Is it a double oak or just a regular Peerless? Definitely not McKenna 10. If it's a McKenna 10, you would have to have already opened the bottle and confirmed that you like that bottle. If that's not the case, don't open it up. Don't crack it open over here because it's always hit or miss. It's one downside about that Henry McKenna from me. I had one bottle that I thought would have been my favorite bottle I've ever had. Then I bought a second bottle, and it was like one of the worst bottles I ever had. This is also a bottle I have not touched in a long time. It's a single barrel pick. Go with the Bowman. Go with the Bowman. I like the Peerless. I feel like the Bowman's like different. Lopez says, don't forget to smash the like button, folks, and subscribe. Appreciate it, Lopez. Popping in as always. North Florida says, Rio is Cinnamon Toast Crunch in a bottle. Good for a sip here and there, but not to drink it every night. Facts. That's what I'm saying right there, 100%. It is a good pour for a one pour thing. It's sweet, it's desserty, it's got the honey, the Amberana, a little spice. It is Cinnamon Toast Crunch vibes. But I could do like a half a pour and I'm like solid. Same thing for the Havana. Give me a half a pour. That's all I want. After that, I'm losing interest because it is so sweet. It's like eating candy on Halloween. My teeth are going crazy. So I think it's good. I just think, for me personally, I can't just kick that bottle back. And I like sweet bottles. So, all right, what is this one again? Limited release Double Oak Bourbon Whiskey. It says Bourbon Whiskey finished in second oak barrel. This is batch number 24-8147. 4-year age, French oak, 115.2 proof, single barrel select from Seal Box, however you pronounce it. Maybe I'm going crazy. My nose is getting a little stuffed, actually. All I get is like a little hint of vanilla. That cut on my tongue is gonna be the death of me. I'll say that. Right off the back, kind of the whole point of why you're here, right? Revisiting these bottles. I'm trying to figure out, like, do they open up? Are they good later? I was not actually the biggest fan of the Starlight bottle. I remember it just being like, I think I did it in a blind with all the other double oaks, which was probably my Peerless, the Woodfords, the Jim Beam, my Nulu double oak wheated, probably the Lucky 7. And when I drink a double oak, personally, I'm looking for a chocolate note. I'm looking for that heavy oak. I'm looking for very campfirey style vibes, and this is not like that. This one is more like, it has that oak impact, but it's also like punch you in the face vanilla. I will say, like, this first sip that I just did, like running it back, way better than I remember the bottle being. Yeah, I like that a lot. I like it a lot. Jim Carrey? No? Nobody? Whatever. I can see where I kind of did this bottle a disservice. Putting it up against the other ones, those were all exactly with what fell in with my palate. This is not 100%, but this is a solid bottle too. I don't remember the price on this, so I don't remember. But it's probably like $50. In that range of $50. But it's solid. I like it. But you gotta like that vanilla kind of vibe to it rather than the traditional double oak, in my opinion. So, to each his own. I like it though. I like it better now that it's open. Bourbon Gator says, real for a half a pour, super sweet, but damn good. See? Now we're talking. Northwest says, another local bourbon drop at Good Pour. Another local bourbon drop at Good Pour. Gonna have a Four Roses pick with allocation. We'll see if we are camping out. When is that? North Florida, is that like tomorrow? Austin says, I'm drinking Wyatt Earp 13-year-old hazmat American whiskey I got from my grandfather. Well, that's fucking sick. Careful. 140 proof is going to put you down. Sheldon says, can you pet the bottle like that again? I'm knocking the dust off, bro. I'm like, you obviously haven't been here. I'm revisiting the old bottles that I haven't touched in a hot minute. So every single one of them, even this one, bro, just covered in dust. I don't know what it is with this room, but there's just dust. Like, I clean the shelves like every day. I'm just constantly wiping them. There's always dust on them. Drives me crazy. But I got you. A little. Bourbon Gator says, have you ever had the Shelton Walker tipped $1.99 super chip big nips? Hey, we're here for it. Have you ever had the discussion about the worst bourbon you ever had? For me, High West Campfire. I've had it, and what I'll do is I'll kind of go through these, and then we'll go over a couple of the bad ones that I've had. I hate going over them because everybody always wants me to drink them, but we'll run it back. Hennessy says, definitely got to look for one of those. I got 3 bottles of the cigar batch at the liquor store I work at because I had it priced at $16.99 when it's supposed to be $80. Damn. Hey, but you got that hookup though. Move. Shelton's comment over here. Big nips. Artful says, Bourbon Gator, 10 high. 10 high. Ozzy says, I'm feeling pretty good, man. For now. For now. Yeah, let's slide this back over. Slide Lucky 7 in. I already had it poured up. This one still, I believe, is out of everything I own. Everything on these shelves, I believe this is the best bottle to be drinking starting the week of Thanksgiving. That's a good way to put it. Not Halloween. A little too soon on Halloween because Halloween's hit or miss. Down here in Florida, it's hot on Halloween half the time. By the time you get to November, you get into that week of Thanksgiving. You're about to have some vacation time. This is the bottle. It's toasted. It's got the double oak vibes. It's got a little chocolate campfire feel to it. It's got that s'mores accent to it. It's just solid, bro. Now mine's obviously still a single barrel, but it is a double oaked, finished in toasted new American oak barrels, 119.6 proof. This one is from Wild Whiskeys out of Jacksonville, Florida. So, Bourbon says, Balcones Bourbon is my worst so far. Chris Jenkins in the chat says, cheers, everybody. North Florida says, getting close to football season. I bet old Shelton Walker is getting fired up. Go Gators. I mean, he might be. You never know. You never know. I didn't see him on, News for Jacks or anything, but you never know. Just why I have everybody here, before I move on to like the other stuff, we are doing a fantasy football league again, right? Second annual, no buy-ins or anything like that. We are moving to a 12-team league, not instead of a 10. And we're correcting the issues from last year. Last year we were at half PPR. Don't know why. We're going to full PPR this year. We are going to have 4 to 5 open slots for people that want to join in from the channel. Again, if that's something you want to do, I have a post on the channel in the post tab. Just go comment, hey, I want in. I'll message you my email, and I'll expect you to email me back, and that way I can send you over the link to join in. Again, it's going to be like a first come, first serve type of thing. So once I get 4 to 5 more people and the roster is completely filled up, we're going to run it back. I have tons of people from last year still running it back. Obviously, we have the wife, who's the reigning champ, Miss Call Me Old Fashioned. We have myself. I believe Tux is going to run it back, even though he doesn't watch anymore or anything like that. We got Mark Duffy in there again. IROC's in there along with his son. We got 2 more people in there too. So, but if fantasy football is your thing, obviously, let me know. We'll get you in there. Once you're in, you can stay in up until you decide to leave. But you get spanked pretty bad. That's on you. We are obviously going to have we're going to do a prize, stuff like that. North Florida dropped the Discord link and said, join the Discord to get in on the fantasy football. The Discord's fun too. Like, we just kind of, I'm not as professional in there. I like to talk shit and have some fun. But feel free to join the Discord. If you're in the Discord, a lot easier for you to join because I do give the Discord members first access. A lot of them are fucking with me though, so it is what it is. So honestly, out of the ones that I've revisited so far, the Wild Turkey, the Lucky 7, New Riff, I gotta say the ones that surprised me the most, Lucky 7's always been fantastic, so I'm not gonna say that surprised me. The Starlight surprised me a lot because that was way different experience than the first time I drank it. And then honestly, the Midwinters. The Midwinters was different, still not worth the money, but it felt more fruit forward and less rye. So the more it aged is kind of what I got from it. In the chat, Tyler Stevenson, drinking some Heaven Hill bottled and bond. Fantastic bottle. It's a nice modest bottle. That's what it is. I like Heaven Hill. I drink it quite often, like when I'm just kind of like hanging around. Because it's like, I mean, it's kind of pricey. Like, don't get me wrong, it's like $50 still, but it's not like you're drinking $100 bottle or anything like that. So I can kind of carelessly drink it without worrying. Like, I'm not trying to taste it. I'm just trying to have a good time with it. So, what should we drink next? Obviously, I'm trying to stick on theme of kind of like my older bottles. So, if there's something that you know I have and I haven't touched in a while, let me know. We'll get to pouring up something. Obviously, we've been drinking the shit out of Penelope lately, so preferably stay away from that. I will say I have one hell of Penelope collection now. Obviously, this shelf has been taken over by all the Penelopes. Norfolk says try and find that Old Fitz 7. Really great from that distillery. Yeah, fucking Norfolk, you're preaching, bro. I wish I could. It's the one bottle that I'm looking for and that I will be buying, even though I keep trying to slow down on buying. But I know that's going to be like a really good, like, average everyday bottle that will kind of be in that same category as like the Heaven Hill. So I'm excited to find that one. Andrew in the chat says, just got here and saw one of my favorite bottles in frame, the new Riff malted sherry finish. What's your thoughts on it? Ooh. Talking about the lady here? Pow. It's phenomenal. So I've had this bottle for a while. I have it quite a bit, so it's kind of hard for me to get back to some of these bottles. So the whole point of this stream was to kind of revisit some of my older stuff, kind of see what it's like, what has changed. I'm not the biggest wine finish in general guy. Like, I'm not out there looking for port and sherry finish. But I will say this one is by far, in my opinion, the best wine finish, whiskey bottle. Now this is obviously a blend of malted straight rye whiskey, barrel proof. So I like the proof. I like the malted part. It's a 6-year age. It just gives me everything that I'm hoping for. A little bit of wine kind of sprinkled in there. It's got the rye spice. It's got some age, so the viscosity and all that's all there. But it's a phenomenal bottle. That one I highly recommend. But I also like all the new Riff stuff, so I guess I'm biased. North Florida says, can't wait to pop this Old Fitz 9-year. Bro, so it was funny. When you posted that, I'm like, I hope you didn't buy the one I saw. You didn't. Luckily, you got yours for like a significantly discounted price compared to what I was about to buy one at. Austin says, you like Johnny Walker? I don't like any of the scotches. I've not found one yet that I like. I want to, so I'm not putting it out there that I don't like scotch. But I have not had one that I personally be like, yeah, I'll drink that. Norfolk says, excited, it's supposed to be a stable shelfer in the coming years for the 7-year. I also know that. One of the things why I was trying to find it super early is because I did want to make a video on it. Did want to talk about it. But the more time goes by that I can't find it, there's tons of videos out there already, so I'm not like dying for it to make the video anymore. I just want to try it. But I do think that would be cool. What the fuck am I doing putting that up there? I do think it would be cool that it will be something that will be on the shelf. It's supposed to be in stock, just like your Heaven Hills or anything else, really. So I'm excited that that could be something I could walk in and go find any given day. We'll see. Obviously, there's a lot of hype around it right now because it's new, it's fresh, it's a fancy bottle. People want to find those little bags that are coming in too, which I also want one of those bags. Just saying. So, all right, let's pick something else. We've talked about Short Barrel a lot tonight from North Florida. 2 of the bottles I have from Short Barrel are more dessert pours. These I kind of categorize as the same as Like this one's more like the style of like the Penelope Havana. This is a Sapsquatch. It's a straight bourbon whiskey finished in maple syrup and toasted barrels. This one's obviously 118 proof off the short barrel. This got a ton of dust on it too. And then I have the short barrels Bee's Knees, which is a out of the single barrel series, double barrel toasted straight bourbon whiskey finished in honey cask at 111 proof. Andrew says, I don't like wine finishes either, but that bottle is really good and an all-time favorite. I live in Cincinnati, 20 minutes from the New Riff distillery, and I get their stuff all the time. Love what they do. I love New Riff. If I lived that close, I would live there. I hear their bar in the New Riff distillery is phenomenal. It's one of the distilleries that I have to go to eventually. It's just about when. He says, appreciate your thoughts. Appreciate you sharing your thoughts. Yeah, absolutely. That's what we're here for. Bourbon Gator says, I got an old Fitz 7 in my bag. My bad, dude. Damn, bro. Damn. It's like that. And you're just going to rub it in my face? Just a little. Like that? All right. I get it. I get it. I get it. I work. I also work. So every time the liquor store's around me, they're like, hey, we got it. It's gone. It's gone in a couple hours. I can't leave the day at like on 10:30 in the morning. You know? I'm kind of salty about that comment. Because I want one. Just saying. I know what sucks is like people hype it up and it's like it's flying off the shelves. There's no way it's that good. You know what I mean? It's not good enough to leave a work day midday to go pick it up for like 60, 70 bucks. It's no way it's that good. So like I don't want to put too much hype around it. I don't want to try and like hunt it forever because I know if I do that and I get it, I'm gonna have personal expectations on this bottle, being like, I've been looking for it forever. I'm gonna drink it. It's gonna be fucking mid. A lot of people say it's good though, so I am pumped about that part. Artful says, when Heaven Hill moved to a 7-year, it took almost a year to show up on shelves for a decent price. Now they're available all over Missouri for $38. Hoping all fits, follows suits. Yeah, Heaven Hill was here in Florida at least, like fairly quick. And it sits everywhere. Nobody buys it here. The only thing that's gotten people to buy the Heaven Hill bottom of the lawn now, besides like the traditional like bourbon people that do really like that stuff, is their new single barrels or new labels that they came out with. I've seen a couple of those, but they go quick. So people are really big on those labels now. So I'm gonna have one pour right now of the Sapsquatch. I'm not going to do the Bee's Knees. The Bee's Knees, in my opinion, is sweeter. I like it. I think I like the Bee's Knees better, but it's super sweet. The Sapsquatch has a little bit better of a balance. Bourbon Gator says short barrel is excellent juice. If you guys read my comments section on my other videos, every time I say something says it's juice, they rip me apart. I don't really care, but I'm just watching out for y'all. Andrew says, yes, their bar upstairs is awesome. They have all their regular and limited editions out of production. The bottles to try. Definitely make a trip up there. It's worth it. They have, so not only do they have the regular lineup, they have the limited editions available for tastings. That's what I want to go for. It also looks incredible. I know it's newer, right? A little bit more modern, but I expect high. If I walk in a new distillery, what was that? Do I speak English? I think so. If I walk into New Riff's distillery, after looking at their bottle, I'm expecting it to be a sexy distillery. I'm just saying. The bottles are sexy. They got that little edge, a little appeal to it. I expect the distillery to be the same. So, Bourbon Gator says, "Left my ass on. My buddy's a traveling tire guy, and hits liquor stores all over the state. Hooks me up with a bottle he found in Orlando. Okay, I get it. You got a guy. That's cool. I mean, I can respect that. I don't have a guy. I have myself. Sometimes I find cool stuff, but not that often. Saw that? It's fucking damn, bro. What did I cut my tongue on? It's good. The second I put it in my mouth, I was like, this is sweet. It was like straight up maple syrup. Honestly, half the time when I look at this bottle, I want to make pancakes and pour it on top. I just want to see what would happen. Like, would it be good? You know, I think we're close to it at least. It'd have to be like one of those pancake and sausage on a stick things. That way that spice from the bourbon side of it can almost be like hidden by being like, ooh, it's just a spicy sausage with maple syrup. Look at me. Dwarf Floyd says, if you are new to the stream, hit the subscribe button and join on the next live. Smash the like. It helps grow the channel. Cheers. North Florida is telling y'all, it wasn't me, it was him. He said, hey, drop a like, subscribe to the channel. I will say, let me check real quick that before I open my mouth. We did hit one more milestone. We're at 3,300 subscribers now, which is pretty cool. Again, I had lofty goals for this year. We're not going to hit those, but if we could get to 5,000 before the end of the year, that would be a realistic goal that I feel like we should hit. I need to do better, understandably. But I say that a lot. I don't want to go down the excuse train, so I'm not going to. Bourbon Gator says, old fits. I get it. You got one. I don't. We established that. So this stuff, it's good. But I will say, you really got to have a time and place. I probably would be okay with giving these bottles away to somebody. Obviously, I can't give it away to you guys. They're open. That's kind of weird. But I think I may give it away to, like, I don't know, a couple people I know. I feel like they'll enjoy that kind of stuff. So I think what I'm going to do is, if whatever I still have at New Year's, I'm half tempted to keep, like, obviously, like, I'm going to keep my Russell's 15 and my Jack 10, my Still Austin and stuff like that, and the stuff that I drink more often. But the stuff I don't touch, I think I'm going to just give it away so I can start fresh, in a sense. Not too fresh. So I like my bottles, but a handful of stuff I know I'm never going to drink again or not going to touch for months. Like, let's not go completely waste. I'm just going to give it away. Horsepower says, I want to get more into ryes. The only one that I have currently is, I can't even pronounce that, 1928. What are some good ryes in the 40 to 60 range? What a fucking comment. Horsepower. So you're kind of in the same boat as me. I'm not a big rye guy, but I'm just going to start sliding ryes here that I like a lot. And you can tell me, I could tell you what the price is later. But I was not really big into ryes. But then I got into ryes. And then now I'm like, I'm a big fan. Not a big fan. I don't fucking know. How about that? I don't know what I'm trying to say. Maybe I'm into ryes. Maybe I'm into ryes. All right, I'm going to go over each one. I'll go over kind of the ballpark price, and that way you can kind of see what I see. Right? So, let's start off with New Riff 8-year rye. Now, New Riff also has their regular rye. I don't know what that's called. And they have single barrel ryes. Personally, I'm going to recommend get the single barrel rye. This one's good. This one's above 60, I believe. I believe it's like 60 to to 70 in that. Andrew just subscribed. Andrew, welcome to the family. This one's good, but it's a little bit higher price. I'm not like arguing on that, but it is good. But this single barrel is going to be a little bit higher proof. I believe it's the single barrels nowadays are probably going to be like 6-year age, where this one's 8. So you're going to lose 2 years for a couple bucks, but you're going to gain a couple more in proof, because this is 8 years at 100 proof, 95.5 mash bill. It's good stuff, but it's a little bit higher than your price range you're talking about. Next up, Still Austin. This one is within price range. Now, if you're not a big proofer, right, you can get the Still Austin, just their artist rye. I believe that one's like 40 bucks. But like for 50 bucks, you can buy the Still Austin Cask Strength Rye, which is 116 proof. It's different though. It's not Kentucky. It's going to be at least 2-year age, but you can see the color on this thing. It's dark. It's got some flavor to it. It's good. I'm going to say it is good. So don't it's not bad. It's one of my go-tos right now. But I also am a big fan of Still Austin in general. My favorite rye of all time is going to be this one right here, the Redwood Empire Rocket Top Straight Rye. It's a bottled and bond. This one has all the fancy stuff on the back, which is one of the reasons why I like New Riff. On the back, this is bottled June 2024. This is a mash bill of 89% rye, 5% wheat, and 6% malted barley. This is batch number 4. 100 proof, because obviously it's bottled and bond. It is phenomenal. I've done like 3 blinds of a bunch of ryes that I have. This one always wins. It just got the best of both. It's got like the earthiness and the spiciness, but also kind of has a little bit of that like minty fresh note to it. It's refreshing. So, but this one I believe is 80 bucks. The New Riff is like 80 bucks. Like it's 70 to 80 depending on where you get it. That's one of their issues though, is their bottled and bonds are the same price as like their small lot series, their tan bottles, which are their higher price ones. I believe their bottled and bonds though are probably some of their better stuff. Another great rye, Heaven Hill Grain to Glass. This one is 123.2 proof. Mash bill is 63% rye, 24% corn, and 13% malt. Phenomenal bottle. It's good. I don't remember the price, but I know it's higher than, it's probably like $100. So it's just one of those, these are like the stuff that I like from not being traditionally into rye, you know. And then of course the number one out of everything, like this has been the best well-rounded bottle. I may like the Redwood Empire the best as a pour, but this bottle, the Jack Daniel's single barrel proof rye, mine's 134.5 proof. I believe they come right at 70 bucks. So I would say blow the budget and buy this one. This one is great as a pour. This one did win in a blind technically, but it also is great in whiskey gingers. I feel like the proof helps with that. So yeah. The Jack Daniel's single barrel proof rye and that Redwood Empire are phenomenal bottles. Everything else is great. So to each his own. That was a really long-winded way to answer your question, but I've been waiting for that one. So appreciate the comment. Norflor says Jack Daniel's bonded rye is great. Buy at that price. I almost bought that yesterday, but I didn't. That's on me. Andrew says one more thing about New Riff, and I'll shut up about it. LOL. They always have single barrels of bourbon and rye selected by their distilleries. Can also try them upstairs before you buy them. It's another reason to love them. Norflor says Jack Daniel's single barrel rye is even better. Artful says Jack Daniel's single barrel proof rye are one of the best out there for like 70. Norflor says I really like the Redwood Empire, Emerald Giant, and Lost Monarch. The Lost Monarch is like a blend of bourbon and rye, and I like that one too. It's cheap. I feel like any of the white label Redwood Empires are low enough price that you can experiment with them and figure out if you like them. Personally, I'm not the biggest fan of the Emerald Giant, and I have it. like it was good, but when I tried everything else, I was like, I don't care for that one. So it wasn't exactly my cup of tea. That's why I didn't buy the cast strength one of it. But that's why I got the Rocket Top though. So Horsepower says, my bad, I lied. I have the Jack Daniel's single barrel proof too. Definitely want to evolve my palate. The Jack Daniel's is fine. I think you should keep this. I'm looking for another one. But you guys know when I bought this one, I have the Jack Daniel's single barrel proof at 133.3 proof. This one's 134.5. I want one that's like 135 or 136 proof. I know. But when I'm okay with waiting. I'm okay with waiting and finding it. Because it took me a while to find this one. And I found it was phenomenal. So if I can find one at the same proof or slightly higher, 100% I'm buying it on site. So North Florida says, I just have a double barrel Burr Rye from Short Barrel that's really amazing too. Has those rye notes with some great bourbon notes too. I think deep down I may be a rye guy. You know? North Florida, I was hesitant. I always said I'm not that guy. I did have some really bad experience early on with ryes. I had some like really crappy ones. I'm like, this is rye. I was like, I don't want to drink this at all. Like, this is not what I want, which really made me stay away from rye. And the more I kind of slowly eased into it, I started running. Now, I will give some credit when credit's due. We used to have an OG in the channel. His name was JC, the rye guy. He changed it quite a bit, but that was his name the last time he was in here. He really gave me some phenomenal recommendations on ryes. I've been like, hey, try this. Now try this. Now try this. Granted, I took a lot of his recommendations just because I didn't know enough about ryes, and that's all he wanted to drink. So at the end of the day, I took his recommendations just from watching the channel. It was cool because he has like the opposite palate of me. So he's like, hey, this is what I like. You would hate this. So Horsepower says, just check my rye. 135.1 proof. Fork it over. Fork it over. I need a full one though. So I hammered that bottle during the NHL playoffs. It just happened. Now everybody can hate me if they want. It's a little pricey, but it's not super pricey. But I was making whiskey gingers with that fever tree with them. It was just like, it's one of my favorite cocktails now because of that. It's simple. You pour, you're done. It's just like, it's just really good. Arthur says, Mixers makes a pretty good rye too. Cast strength if you can find it. But the standard rye is a good one. I'll definitely try that. I know it was one of the ones that I avoided when I found it a lot back in the day. It was when I was just protesting rye. So I should run that back. Andrew says, I have a Jack Daniel's single barrel proof rye that I opened not too long ago. 138.1 proof. What the fuck? Why? It took me like straight up like a year to find that bottle. And you guys are like, mine's actually higher than yours. Didn't even try. Horsepower says, I got to check that Redwood rye out. I love their bourbon. I love everything from Redwood. Except for like the Van Dusen straight rye whiskey. I don't like that one. I haven't had it in a while, but this is one bottle that I didn't even review because I didn't care for it too much. That and the Emerald Giant's good, but it's just not like I could do without that bottle. That's all. So Arvel says, also check out their Barrel House on the bottle. 8-13 are from Coy Hill. 8-13 or 8 through 13. I don't. What is mine? Mine is Barrel House 1-07. So not Coy Hill. I mean, I'd love a Coy Hill one, but I'm not picky. Mine was phenomenal not even being in there. So, Mr. Miyagi. back in the chat says, hey, call me old fashioned. How you doing, man? Well, I'm doing good. Been a while. Miss having you here. We're just revisiting older bottles tonight. Just kind of having some fun chatting with you guys. So, if there's a bottle you haven't seen me drink in a while or a long time, let me know. We'll crack into it. Right now, I just poured up that. Man, my bottle's almost gone. The Redwood Empire Rocket Top, one of my favorite ryes of all time. Horsepower says, I can't talk about NHL playoffs. I'm a lifelong Flyers fan, so it's a sore subject. Hey, we from Florida. I've been a Panthers fan since I was young. Last year, when we won the first time, I had to pull out a photo of me as a kid in a Panthers jersey, just to make sure everybody knew, like, I've been here. We've been through the struggle. I've been waiting my turn. The Panthers became a team when I was born, and when we won our first Stanley Cup, the year my son was born. So he was only like 2 months old when they popped off, won the first one. He's undefeated right now. He doesn't even know what it's like to lose a Stanley Cup yet. I feel bad for him, but we're back-to-back champs, going for a third year. It's going to be a fun year. We're a big hockey household, so I'm here for it. iRock in the chat says, wow, I'm up super late. What up, team? Just poured Eagle Rare single barrel. Oh, wait, what the fuck you say? ERSP? SP. Special. Maybe I'm tripping. iRock says, kind of like me as a Cubs fan. LOL, bro, the paint, bro. You guys went through that drought too. But when you won, it's just that much more sweeter. You know what I mean? Same thing. The Miami Heat, we had a couple good years. It was fun while it lasted, and then drought it up. I'm also a Dolphins fan. Y'all better hope the Dolphins never win a Super Bowl. If they do, everybody's going to hear me. So, Horsepower says, I love it. My dad was like 14 when the Flyers won their last cup in 76. In a few years, when the Panthers finally fizzle out, I hope the Flyers get one more for pops, Store. Damn, bro. It's been a long day. ST or SP store pick. I didn't know Eagle Rare had store picks. I mean, I guess I knew that. I just never seen them. Norflor said the wife's a big hockey fan. She grabbed us from t-shirts from the Panther win. Love it. Hell yeah. Bro, your wife's my favorite at this point. She's the greatest. Bro, this Rocket Top, just so you know. Hey, iRock, by the way, you can let them know about the fantasy spanking that you got last year and that you're running it back too. So I'm just promoting it a little bit. Bro, this one's got like, it's definitely different. I kind of like popped something in my eye there. It's definitely different than I remember. Not much though, right? Like, it still has a nice little hint of sweetness. Not a ton of overwhelming spice, but it's got like this earthy note and minty note all at the same time. Usually it's one or the other in my opinion. But also has like this like softness to it. The only way I can describe it is like what you get from wheat. Now I know this has a very small percentage of wheat in the mash bill, but I think that just plays just enough to kind of say, hey, it's soft enough, if that makes sense. iRock says, hey, easy. Norflora says the wife loves whiskey and hockey. She's an amazing cook and mom. What more could a guy want? Hey, facts. You should screenshot it. I'll put it back up there. You could screenshot it, get some brownie points. I'll be like, right? Did you screenshot it? Anyway, Andrew says very quick. I got into the spirit of Rye Day tonight. We got very quick into the spirit of Rye Day tonight. My bad. We went left field very quick. I was trying to just touch some old bottles, and we very much got on the rye. Iraq just said he sent a pic of the Eagle Rare that he's sipping. Bro, is this still daylight where you're at? What's happening here? Oh, yeah. I see. I don't know why I was blanking on. Eagle Rare definitely does store picks. Yeah, I knew Eagle Rare did store picks. I don't know why. I was just blanking. I didn't know what was happening there. Jacob in the chat says, saw you for the first time the other day. Seems chill. I mean, I'm okay. I wouldn't say I'm like super chill, but I'm all right. I like to drink some whiskey. I like to hang out, have some fun. Jacob, are you drinking? Are you old enough to drink? And if you're not drinking, what's your favorite drink? Let me put some of these ryes back real quick, and then let's dive into something else. What, guys, real quick before I start, picking stuff out, what should I sip on? What should we sip on next? Be creative, be creative. Jacob says, I was drinking Penelope Rose Cask finish. I like it, but with the proof, wish the proof was a little bit higher. What's the proof on that? 90, 94? Yeah, I get that. If it was like 110, 110 would be solid for this bottle. I like it. It feels kind of summertime, so I like where your head's at with the Penelope Rosé. Me and the wife used to drink rosé wine all the time. That was like our thing when we first started dating. I'm not gonna say I'm a big fan of that bottle. I like it, but I'm kind of in the same boat with you. Like I wish it was just a little bit higher proof. Norfolk says, all this rye talk, I just might have to break out the Triumph 10-year rye. One of my absolute favorites, tasting like a gumdrop. You know what's funny? You were talking up the other day, and I was like, you know what? I'm going to go buy one. They always had them at Shores Liquor. They were just like straight up sitting on the floor because they couldn't sell them. I went in to buy it, just straight up being like, I'm going to buy that bottle today. It was gone. All of them. I was like, what the fuck? Crazy. Jacob says, eating and drinking water right now. Best kind of stuff right there. He says, no, it's not daylight. It was from last week. Okay, that makes sense. North Florida says 13th double oak. I was trying to not drink the allocated stuff tonight. Said send another pic of my pics. What does that even mean? Oh, you just be finding them left and right. Ooh, who's the American flag one? For those who served, that's fucking awesome. I want one of those. I didn't serve, but I want one of them. I'm probably not even allowed to have one of those. That's disrespectful, right? North Florida, not the 13th Colony, Double O, none of like the fancy pours. I'm trying to do like normal human pours tonight. So what do I have? Obviously, I have like damn near every Penelope known to man, but I also have every Redwood known to man. But I wish I had a third camera that could show this shelf, because this is like the Misfits land. I got Green River Full Proof, Chattanooga Whiskey, Heaven Hill Bottom Bond, St. Augustine Single Barrel, St. Augustine Florida Straight, Elijah Craig. I have a bunch of really shitty bottles too, like Whistle Pig, Piggyback, Early Times, Bourbon, or Bank Street Bourbon, Blade and Bow. I have Old Granddad 114, which is always solid. I have the Maker's Mark Generation of Proof, Peerless Double, Woodford's Double, Jim Beam Double, Nulu Double, almost all the old Foresters. So, Andrew says, I also heard the Sagamore Double Oak Rye is good. I did try it at the store as like a sample. I like it, but I didn't love it, if that makes sense. It was good, but I didn't care to buy it. I think if you like rye and you like double oak stuff, it's a good pairing. To me, I'm very picky with my double oaks because that's like my go-to. I love a double oak, so I'm just really picky with them. Jacob says, I like your opinion on the Heaven Hill Bottle and Bond Blue Label. I'd like your opinion on the Heaven Hill Bottle and Bond Blue Label. Everyone talks it up, but I'm just underimpressed. Underimpressed? That might be you, because I do like it. But let me pour a fresh pour of it real quick, and we'll give it a quick thought. I know, so it just depends on how you're looking at it, right? Because it is like really good basic bourbon. So from what I remember, it's like caramel, vanilla, like floored, a little touch of cinnamon, a little oak. But like other than that, it's not really much to it, right? It's 100 proof, obviously for your age, but it doesn't like do much more than that. So you're thinking like $49.99 or $55.99. Like, what am I getting for that? I think it's just a really good basic bourbon. So let me dive in real quick. Eric in the chat, OGD 114. Bro, everybody's lighting up the OGD things. My bad, guys. Did I pick up the wrong bottle? That's on me. Norfolk says, normal pours? How about Havana? Holy shit, I must have missed a bunch. IROC says they did that on Fort Knox, was cool. Damn. Now I want it more. Jacob says, I really like the Penelope Architect Blue, and I have the bottle of Maker's Cast. Drink that. I really like. I love Penelope Architect. I have the Creme Brulee one, which is my favorite Penelope of all time now. But the Architect is phenomenal. I have a cut on my tongue. I kind of stand by what I was just saying. It's good. I like it. This is a 7-year-old bourbon, not 4-year. I misspoke earlier. It's good. It's sweet, touch of spice, but it's really just caramel and vanilla forward. This is what I say is like, if somebody was to call me up and say, hey, I really want just a really basic, straightforward Kentucky bourbon, what should I pick up? I'm going Heaven Hill. Bottle and Bond, pick it up. This is like exactly what you should want if you want a Kentucky bourbon with not all like the flares. You're not trying to get fancy with it. You just want to give me what you should be getting. This is what it is. I like it. Now, is there argument to say, is there better bourbons for $50? Yeah, there's definitely arguments for that. But I think Heaven Hill Bottle and Bond is one of those bottles that really should stay in your collection. I will also add the longer I've had it, the more it opens up, the better it's gotten, I will say. So that's just my opinion. Everybody has their own, so if you don't like it or if you're not a fan, that's okay. IROC says, OGD, can't go wrong. You're right. Horsepower says, Green River is awesome. Old Granddad makes an awesome old-fashioned. Okay, I'm just going to put that on the screen. That's facts. Old Granddad makes a phenomenal old-fashioned. Just want to put that out there. I've had some Peerless. Let me pull that over. I've had some Peerless, Ben Holiday Rickhouse Proof, Jefferson's Cast Strength, Old Forester's Single Barrel Strength Rye next. I could. I can do that next. Bro, every time I keep trying to get away from the rye, everybody keeps bringing me back. I'm going to slide that over here. Andrew says, sip on some makers tonight. If you have either of the 2024 or 2025 wood finishing series, one of those, been crushing those lately. I don't have either of those. The only makers I have right now is, let me pull it over. I have this one. Looks fancy. It's not. Don't make it look like it's something. It's not. Where's that blend? This is the Generations of Proof 2019, 2020, and 2021. This is like the COVID box, right? They're good. All of them are fine. There's one in there. I can't remember which one. It's either 2019 or 2020. That is like berries and cream forward. It's phenomenal. These are all 375 milliliter bottles. So I don't mind picking out one of these and trying that. Jacob says Heaven Hill Blue reminds me of Larceny. Ooh, no, I wouldn't. I just got Larceny. I have the Larceny Barrel Proof. I wouldn't. It doesn't remind me of that. Heaven Hill to me has its own little small sliver of my brain where I'm like, that's Heaven Hill. Larceny feels a little bit different to me. I like both of them though. Like Larceny wasn't bad either. I'm not the biggest fan of Larceny though. I would definitely take Heaven Hill over Larceny. Oh, everybody's calling. I'm late on the comments, but everybody's calling me out on the 7-year thing. Yeah, I figured it out. Don't worry. Didn't even need y'all's help. Norflora says, need another OGD. Went through ours too quick. Tried to tell you. iRock says, speaking of Heaven Hill, did you get the Old Fit 7 yet? No. No. I can't find it. Not had an Old Forester yet. Maybe next one for me. Been looking for an Eagle Rare. Eagle Rare is phenomenal bottle. That's just to put it out there. If you can get it for the low price that it should be going for, one of my favorites. Old Forester, it just depends on where you're at proof-wise. 1910 is phenomenal. It's considered like a double oak. 1920 is also great. It's 115 proof. Got a little banana note to it, so I personally like that one a lot. My favorite one, though, is unfortunately the more expensive one, which is 1924. But that one's like all dessert vibes. So I wouldn't say start with 1924. I would say start with 1910. Your palate's still new? Then start with 1910. It's a lower proof, kind of like the Eagle Rare, kind of like a lot of things. But oh, I just misread a different comment. Trevor in the chat says, if you have Penelope Light whiskey, definitely pour it. I don't. It's like the one Penelope I don't have. I literally have the Valencia, the Rosé, the Barrel Strength, the Toasted, the Wheated, Havana, Rosé, Architect, and Architect Creme Brulee, and the Cigar Batch, and the Peach Old Fashioned. So, yeah, it's one of the ones I do want. I don't think I would love it, but I do want it. Norfolk says Old Forester solid bourbon has its own taste for sure. Eagle Rare's great. Don't overpay if you can find it. If you look hard enough. Don't overspend on Eagle Rare. Yeah, I mean, personally, I would probably go as high. I would go as high as like $50 personally. I know you can get it for less. If I saw it for 50 though, I'd probably be okay with it. But I really like Eagle Rare. Gel says, what's your second cheapest bottle? My two cheapest bottles probably are going to be Evan Williams Bottled and Bond and Old Granddad. Or Evan Williams Bottled and Bond. Probably all of the benchmarks. Benchmark Full Proof and Old Granddad 114. Those are probably like my cheaper ones. I don't remember price that great. So I have Benchmark Bonded, Single Barrel, and Full Proof. Evan Williams, Bond Bond, Old Granddad 114. Those are all on that budget lineup. So yeah, I walked into Publix today. They had Benchmark Full Proof on sale. They said if you buy two, you save $10. I was like, you're basically giving it away. Let's do one of the makers. I haven't drank the makers in a while. I did just buy the single barrel rye. So sorry, whoever recommended that. I'm not trying to not drink your recommendation, but I'm gonna crack out one of these. Okay, I'm going with the 2020. We're going with the COVID year, baby. There's dust all over this shit. Ooh, nice little pop. I will. Oh shit! I just poured a shit ton. You can't see it, but I poured it way too much. I do really like these little mini maker bottles. I think this is like the cutest fucking thing in the world right now. Like, look at this little thing. It's got like the small wax dip. I don't know. I'm fucking weird. Juan says, good evening, everyone. Juan, welcome to the stream, baby. Happy Friday. What are you sipping on? Jill says, get yourself an old Overholt. Good for serving at a lemonade stand. What does that mean, though? Like, do you think it's good or do you think it's just okay? Because I don't have a lemonade stand. North Florida says, if you can grab Buffalo Trace at Walmart, $25, solid bottle. I do have Buffalo Trace, too. I like Buffalo Trace, though. I don't consider that, like, it's budget. Don't get me wrong. But, like, I feel like it's a little bit higher tier than budget. Like, everybody, like, hypes it up. So I don't even talk about it in that regards. Because people are like, no, secondary around me is like $40. I'm like, don't do it then. Andrew says, what stave profile is on that? So on this one is the 2020 private selection. This is stave profile 3 of the baked American Peers, 3 of the seared French Curve, 2 of the Maker's 47, 2 of the 2 of the toasted French Spice. This is 109.9 proof. So I'm like 99% sure this one is the one that's berries and cream. But I'm going to try it real quick. Yeah. That one's got red fruit, caramel vibes. Yeah, because 2019, or no, I'm sorry. 2021 is like the vanilla bomb that I was comparing to the Penelope Architect back then, because it's got 4 of the Maker's 46 stave, which is a French oak stave as well. Yeah, I'm good. I'm down for the 2020 Makers. Generation of Proof. I like this little kit. It's fun. It's fun to break out, especially if nobody's ever had Makers. It's just a cool little thing. I got it at Costco for like $50. So it's cool. Jacob says, am I the only one that doesn't understand the Weller hype? It's been years since I've had it, but I hated it all the time. Maybe I need to buy another. I don't know. I get where like a lot of people gravitate towards the Buffalo Trace stuff. That's just a given. The Weller Special Reserve I personally have is not somebody bought it for me. So when they bought it for me, it was when my son was first born. So it was the bottle I personally drank whenever my son did something cool. When he hit a milestone, when the first time when he said "dada" or first time he walked, that's when I drank that bottle because that's just what I correlated it with. Not that it's hyped up or anything. I've never even had the Antique 107 full proof 12 year. I've never had them. So if I've had them, it was like a pour from somebody that I don't personally remember. I mean, to each his own, right? I mean, some people really are big fans of the Weller stuff, and I'm okay with them being fans of that because Florida never gets it anyway. Florida only liquor stores that's allowed to get Weller in Florida is ABC, and it's not the state ran ABC; it's just a brand ABC. So. Jill says, if you don't have a lemonade stand, don't bother. Ohio is only good with lemonade. My bad. I don't have a lemonade stand. I do have Publix lemonade. Have you ever had that? Yeah, see, North Florida just said it. It says, not much Weller in Florida, only available through the ABC Vault. I'm not even part of the Vault system because they keep fucking with my points. They keep telling me I don't have an account, and it's just been a lot of back and forth. So Nathan in the chat says, damn, can't get makers in Indiana. A normal's makers is around 60 to 70. I don't think it's worth that much. I don't think it's worth that much either, so don't buy that. I got this whole kit for like $50 down here in Florida at Costco. That's the Generations of Proof thing. So Jacob says, I've had Buffalo Trace. It's great. But I remember the Weller Green being so like their Buffalo Trace itself and Weller Special Reserve are both kind of like, they're good pours, they're good drinks. But when you start having some like incredible pours, they just kind of start fading towards the back, right? Because like they don't have a lot of complexity to them. They're sweet, they're light, they're approachable, they're family friendly. Like anybody could walk up and drink those and be okay with it. But when you really get like a whiskey connoisseur involved with them, they're like, what the fuck is this? I need more. You know what I mean? That's kind of like the vibe most people get. That's why people don't drink the Antique 107 or Special Reserve. I'm sorry, they go to 107, they go to Full Proof and stuff like that. Andrew says, as far as Weller goes, I've learned to form my own opinion, specifically with the 12-year. Everyone says it sucks because it's low proof. Then I tried it and I loved it. I've never had it, so I can't really speak on it. But I imagine a 12-year bourbon in general is probably pretty good. Jacob says, yeah, I'm in Oklahoma and Weller is everywhere. Well, fucking lucky you, bud. Pick us all up, son. The two I want is Antique 107 and Weller Full Proof. Just because I want to see what the different proof points look like. I'd love the 12-year too, but I feel like to really see what the proof does, that's why I say that. So, how long have we been live? Let's check the stats. About an hour and a half. It's not our longest stream. Let's check real quick. Okay. I mean, it's all right. Nothing crazy on the stream. So, I'll let you guys let's do this. I'm going to do a poll just because I feel like polls will kind of help. You guys are here to hang out for a while, right? Yeah. Okay. All right. So the next poll or questionnaire, in a sense, is should we make a pour, like another pour, just swap it up, or should we make a cocktail? Cocktail is probably going to be an old fashioned. Just give you that little giveaway, a little hinty, you know. Jacob says, sorry, not trying to rub it in, LOL. Weller 107 is hard to find. Just Weller Green is everywhere. No, bro. Jacob, one of the things you're going to learn, I like to buzz balls. So I'm going to give you shit. You better give me shit. And then we give everybody else shit. So y'all go ahead and vote on if you want to do a pour or if you want to do a cocktail. All right, let me do this real quick. I'll move this over. There we go. Andrew says, I'm voting cocktails just because I want to see your old-fashioned recipe. Jacob says, busting balls comes with sharing drinks. I mean, you come drink anything you want. You just got to make it all the way to Florida, bud. I mean, my old-fashioned recipe is one of two ways, right? Just while everybody else votes on it. I do two. I do one for my on-stream stuff, and I do one that I personally do. My on-stream stuff, I'm typically moving a little bit quicker, right? Trying to be a little bit cleaner as well. So I use the Woodford's old-fashioned cocktail mix. That's what I typically use as like my base when I review bourbons in an old-fashioned. And the reason why is because it's consistent. I don't have to worry about me messing something up. I use a 1/4 ounce, splash it in, 1 cherry, 2 ounces of bourbon, or 2.5 ounces of bourbon. And then I choose if I smoke it or not. That's if I'm like reviewing it, trying to really put it through its paces to say, hey, is this a good old-fashioned? Personally, like when I'm just fucking around at home with no cameras, I'm using cube sugar because I personally like that better. I use spiced cherry bitters from Woodford's, orange cherry bitters from Woodford's, and just regular basic simple syrup. Sometimes they use like maple syrup. It just depends on what I'm feeling. I have multiple smokers. I have a little top glass smoker that I typically do on stream, and then I have this massive mega box smoker for off stream. So 14 people watching. Guys, if you haven't already, drop a like, subscribe to the channel. We do go live every Friday. We talk bourbon, whiskey, old fashions, all types of bourbon stuff, and plus I have a pretty good beard. So give it a couple more minutes. There we go. There we go now. There we go now. I mean, if we go pours next, right? That's what looks like it's winning the polls. What should we go for? If we do an old fashioned, what should we make in the old fashioned? Questions? The questions. I have so much whiskey I'm never going to touch. I look at it sometimes, I'm like, God, I wish somebody would come over. I wish an alcoholic would come over here and just fuck this shit up. Just drink the fuck out of it. At least it would go to somebody, you know? Old Pirate Bourbon says, cheers, friends and community. Arg. Old Pirate Bourbon, welcome to stream, baby. Happy Friday. Almost Saturday. What are you sipping on, bud? Old Pirate Bourbon, what are you drinking? If you're not drinking, what do you wish you were drinking? Jacob says, I need to learn a good old fashioned. Don't we all? I feel like if you ever like wanted to learn a cocktail, old fashions are really easy. Plus, you can kind of do your own thing. I understand old fashioned is the name; it should go the way it's supposed to. But I like making my own twist on them. Majority votes right now is pours, so we'll do one more pour, and then maybe we'll like eventually we'll end with an old fashioned. We'll do an old fashioned before the end of the night. So just because you guys keep talking about it. So, what should we pour up next? You guys fire off some bottles. I'll see if I have it. It's a lot easier that way. I'm not trying to drink the allocated stuff tonight, so let's try to keep it normal-esque. So, I mean, I'd love a good. I mean, if you say Jack 10, I'll drink Jack 10. I'm not gonna pull out the Russell's 15 or 13th Colony because everybody keeps saying like, I'm never gonna try those. Don't drink them in front of me. I'm like, all right. So, oh, Geraldo, that's a fun name to say. Just picked up Old Forester's President Choice at MSRP. Hell yeah. I don't even own that one. How do you like it? Is it good? Is it worth the pickup regardless of the price? I love Old Foresters, so I mean, you really can't go wrong there. North Florida says Jack 10. All right, you talked me into it. You talked me into it. Let's check the poll. Okay, the poll's winning. I guess I have to drink a Jack 10. I didn't even want to, really. I didn't even want to. I guess I will. NDC Junior says Smoke Wagon Desert. Oh. I don't have a lot of Smoke Wagon. Do I have any Smoke Wagon? The only Smoke Wagon I actually own is my 4th of July bottle, which is this one. So, and it was cheap. It's just like a really good basic bourbon, but it's not like anything too special. But I like it. I haven't really dove too far into the Smoke Wagon stuff, though. Drinking Old Granddad 114 Pirate Bourbons. You're dialed in, baby. Everybody loves that old Granddad 114 tonight. Jacob says, I like to try another Penelope. What do you think my next move is? Ooh, okay. So you like the Architect, and you have the Rosé. I think logically, budget-wise, stuff like that, you should try the Wheated. I like the Wheated. It's simple, it's sweet, it's approachable. It's only like $35. So I would do that. If you can find the creme brulee one, that one's an obvious choice for me. It's my favorite one. Or I would go barrel strength if you're just a big fan of Penelope. If you're not, then move off of Penelope and buy something else anyway. Geraldo says delicious, but only 88 months age, which was shocking. Normally, closer to 9 years. Okay. Well, I'm glad it was delicious at least. Norfolk says, love our Jack 10 batch 4. What do I have? I have batch 3. My batch 3 is 97 proof. Really, it's my only complaint that I wish it was just slightly... Holy shit. Ooh. I thought that was going to be the cork pop of the century for a second there. Oh my God, I almost spilled it. Oh my God. I love this bottle, but part of it's because I like the look of it. Don't get me wrong. It looks really good on the shelf, but I'm also a big fan of Jack Daniels in general. Geraldo says, have you tried the Penelope 17-year American whiskey? It's American light whiskey. How do you like it? I don't know because I can't find it. I know I'm not going to be the biggest fan of the American light whiskeys, the 15 or the 17-year. I do want them. When I find them, I will pick them up. I don't think they're going to be what I hope they are, so I'm probably going to overpay and get mad at them. But I know a lot of people that are really into the Penelope stuff that really do like both of them. So if you're a big fan of Penelope or American light whiskey, you should probably pick those up. But I haven't had them, so I'm not speaking from experience. Andrew says, going to be living vicariously through your pour of Jack 10 because I've never had it. Had a chance to try it, but I really want to. Well, Andrew, stay tuned because we do giveaways sometimes. We still need to do one, so let's lock it in for next week. We'll do a giveaway, and the giveaway is supposed to be for 2 pours of really anything on my shelves. And I do have some cool stuff. We're drinking a lot of basic stuff tonight, but I have some fun bottles. So stay tuned for that. North Florida says, have anybody tried the Penelope barrel strength rye? Bro, if I find that, I'm picking it up. The only one I found is the toasted rye, or the Takochi. I don't even know how to pronounce it. Rye. Jacob says, haven't seen the creme brulee yet. I'll be looking for it. It's a little bit more than the regular Architect, but it's also like slightly sweeter. It is higher proof. It's an extra year of age. It's just better, in my opinion. In my opinion. Strado says, I have a spare. Do you know I was your 3,000 subscriber? Fuck. Yeah, I did not know. I don't get to see cool stats like that. If that's true, hell yeah. That's pretty cool. I know who my first subscriber was, and I knew who my 100th subscriber was. Beyond that, like, nobody's been like, I'm here at 1,000, I'm here at 2,000. But if you're here at 3,000, that's pretty cool. Our goal is 5,000 by the end of the year, or 10,000. 10,000 felt like a long shot, so I changed it to 5. But I appreciate it either way. Whether if you're first, second, or last, it doesn't matter to me. Jacob says, I haven't drank Jack Daniels in many years. I got sick on it, and the smell gets me. The nicer bottles do look good on the shelf, though. Jacob, I think if you're talking about Old Number 7, these are different. There is a wide gap between Old Number 7 and anything we talk about on this channel. I like Old Number 7, though. It's a really good mixer. It's solid for a Jack and Coke. But when we're talking about the Jack Daniel's single barrel proof rye or bourbon, if we talk about the Jack Daniel's triple mash that I have, or the Jack Daniel's 10, these are like light years apart. So I think you'd be okay with it. Andrew says, North Florida, I didn't even know Penelope barrel strength rye existed. I think he's talking about the toasted. North Florida says, I grabbed the Jack 10 and our Jack 12 at the couple's camp out. Bought another Jack 12 for $1.99. Kind of high price, but couldn't resist. I need a Jack 12, so if I come across one, I'm probably going to buy it regardless. So let's try it. Let's dive in. I'll give you the quick tasting notes. I'm not going to go super in depth, but Jack Daniel's 10-year, 97 proof, batch 3. Cheers. If y'all didn't cheers me, that's fucked up. All right, the cut on my tongue is actually driving me nuts. I don't know. Can you see it? Fucking hurts. I like it a lot. It's sweet, it's vanilla, it's caramel. The one thing that really stands out about this batch 3 is I categorize this stuff as like that manly vibes, right? I feel like I should be wearing a big belt buckle, cowboy hat, and some boots, right? Because it's got that leather, it has the tobacco feel. It really kind of carries that stuff through that sweetness. You get the basic stuff. You get vanilla, you get the caramel, you get a little touch of cinnamon kind of sprinkled on top. But then some of the more prominent notes is like this touch of leather and this touch of tobacco, which is really nice. It pairs really well on the lower proof. I wish it was higher proof, but those two notes pair really good under 100 proof on this one. Because of like the tobacco and the leather part too, it also kind of like keeps the spice towards the back end of the palate, which really makes the finish that kind of medium to long, even though it's under 100 proof. Normally, anything under 100 proof, I'm going to say it's a short finish regardless. This one's on that medium level. It doesn't have that warm hug on like the chest, right, where it's just like sitting there, but it's there. I really do think though the age on this one though, the viscosity, the oiliness. I'm not speaking English tonight. That's on me. The oiliness of it and the viscosity of it is thick enough where I'm like I can feel the age. It feels like it should cost more because of that. I believe MSRP is about $100 for that bottle. So 100%, I'd say it's worth it. Phenomenal pour. Geraldo says, Jacob, if you're looking for the creme brulee and you live in Orlando, I know where to get it at MSRP Publix. Jacob says, I'm kind of shocked you didn't have more people in here. Nice stream. I'm a mod for a larger poker stream. Poker? What's up, baby? My channel's weird. My channel's weird. That's all I can just say. I don't have a ton of people to come in on my streams. It is what it is. We like to hang out. I don't think people like the hangout portion. I just like to chat with the chat and drink different stuff throughout the night. We do normally do a more professional stream, or we'll say that. So keep this up and you'll blow up. I mean, I'll try. I'll try. Jacob, just from what you've said, I wouldn't try the Penelope cigar blend. I have it. I don't necessarily like. It's not. Let me check one thing. Okay, everybody said pour. To me, if you were to say what a cigar blend should feel like, it should feel like this, like the Jack 10 or the Still Austin Tanner. Those feel like cigar blends. This Penelope doesn't. I'm gonna do one pour of this like really quick. Nothing like too crazy of it. But I remember it being like really lackluster. And I went outside and I did it with cigar too, because everybody's like, "You gotta do it with a cigar," and I was like, "All right, fuck it, I'll do it." This is 101 proof. Oh, that's why. Yeah, it's American whiskey. It's a blend, so it's got American light whiskey, which is the prominent note in this. That's how it was able to get to 100 proof, not the bourbon-esque of it. It's chapter 1. The nose is decent, but you can tell it's Penelope from the nose. I mean, it's not bad, right? That's the one thing I could say. It's not bad. It's got a little heat to it on the back end. Got a little sweetness on the front of the palate. But it also has like, where the other one felt like tobacco, cigar vibes with leather, and it paired really well. This one feels like somebody kind of just put a cigarette out in it. It was like, hey, there's tobacco in there. You know what I mean? Like, that's not like to talk shit about it, but it's there in a weird way. Don't know how to describe that. Norfloor says Penelope cigar blend is not bad. Had some interesting notes. Could have been higher proof. Yeah, a little bit higher proof. I feel like would have done this justice. I feel like it's in a weird zone for me. Jacob says you like holding them. Then holding them. I feel like I'm getting set up for your mom joke there. I like Jacob. I know you're a little new to the channel. I like streaming during the UFC fights. I like streaming blackjack and roulette and all that stuff. We haven't done that in a long time, but I like having fun. So I love Vegas. Me and if you really dive in to the channel, me and my buddy do all types of stupid shit on this channel every once in a blue moon. Norfolk says I probably wouldn't buy again. I would agree with that. Like, it's cool to have. I like Penelope, but I'm okay with not buying another one of these. Now, if batch 2 comes out with something that feels different, I would buy batch 2. Just because, like, it's close. It feels like it's there. They tested the waters. They wanted to see what the market was like, and they're like, all right, cool. Now we can actually do it. That's what it feels like. Lane says, just found me a bottle, paid $80. That worth it? Just found me this bottle. You paid $80 for the cigar blend? No, not worth it. Not worth it. What, unless you're talking about something else. But yeah, sorry, Lane. I wish I could tell you yes and that you got a good deal, but $80 is kind of a, it's not worth it. But also think about it like this. If you love the bottle and it's your favorite bottle, you spent 80 bucks, it doesn't matter what you spent. It doesn't matter what I say it's worth, right? Because I'm not here to make the prices. But me personally, I would not spend $80 on that bottle. Jacob says, new to Penelope, and I really like it. I was an uneducated Scotch drinker. I'm learning. Hey, that's all we can all do. Just learn a little bit, you know? Penelope is just MGP, which is just mass-produced whiskey, and they're doing different things with it to finish it in weird things or age it differently and stuff like that. That is MGP's main brand is Penelope. They're just a source of it. So just be careful. If it says bottled or distilled in Indiana, most of the time it's MGP. Most of the time. Jacob says, yeah, I was saying Texas Hold'em. That's what I mod and what I'm into outside of old cars and bourbon. I love me a good Texas. Hey, I don't mind. Drop the channel. Which channel are you referring to? Because I want to check them out anyway. Geraldo, I know you're my 3,000 subscriber, but that's a savage ass comment, bro. Old Fitzgerald 7-year bottled and bond. What's your opinion? I can't fucking find it. The one thing that makes me I'm sure it's good. I'm sure it's not super hyped up either. But my issue with this bottle is I'm in a lot of bourbon groups. I watch all the liquor stores. And a lot of these stores and stuff like that will post a picture. I can literally pull it up. No joke. I'll fucking pull it up right now just to put it in perspective. Let's go to let's go to Whiskey 904 YouTube page. It's literally the first fucking thing. Look right there. You can see it. It's a little blurry, but you can see it. It literally goes, Wild Whiskey of Mandarin, Whiskey 904. We had 6 bottles dropped today. Have them all available for your enjoyment tonight. That was sent earlier this morning. I went up there, they were gone. And I was like, what the fuck? Why are they gone? Bring it out the back. They're like, sorry, we sold out. I'm like, I was up here within an hour of that post. If you keep scrolling, just to kind of put it in perspective, here's the first post. Look. There. Old Fitz. Guys like ABC Liquors, Jack's Beach has it. And I'm like, cool. Somebody comment on it before I even got there. I said, it's gone already. I'm like, it's just going so fast. So it just annoys me. But a lot of liquor stores keep posting that they have it, and they don't actually have it. They're just getting people in the door. I'm not a fan of that. Sorry, that was my rant for the night. North Florida says, Penelope Cigar Blend, not bad. Price for the bottle. I got mine at $82.99. I haven't seen it. I've seen it at $109 in a store. No. I got mine on pre-order, so I guess I really don't even know the price. I pre-ordered mine on Total Wine's concierge service. I paid $75. I'm not even okay with the $70 I spent. I think it's like a $50 to $60 bottle, respectively. But I mean, to each his own. Spend what you want. Price is subjective. So, Jacob says, Steffi Poker does funny shorts and streams on poker. I'm here for that. I'll look him up. Lane says, I seen it and knew it was something new. $8 seemed like a deal at the time. I haven't cracked it yet. Well, I mean, you got to crack it anyway. You know what I mean? Crack her open. Geraldo says, come to Orlando. I got you. I'd come to Orlando, but as most people know, I totaled my car. Some lady ran a red light and obliterated my car. I had broke ribs for a while. We streamed through it. I don't necessarily advertise that kind of stuff, but yeah, I'm not driving to Orlando anytime soon. I have a vehicle I can use for now, but I'm not driving it to Orlando. Lane says, but anyways, nice bar setup you got there, man. Oh, my camera just died at the same time you said that. What a weird coincidence. Let me switch batteries real quick, and I'll fix it. I'll fix it. You know, I could have swore I saw Harrison pop in. I feel like every time he pops in, my batteries die. So I'm going to blame him for now. If he's not here, that's going to be super awkward. But I'm pretty sure I saw his name. I did see his name. It's on him. It's his fault. Ryan in the chat says, my man, back into your stream again. Oh, yeah, drinking my rum and coke. Hell yeah. Ryan, welcome to stream, baby. Happy Saturday. Now it is 12:06 Eastern Time. Harrison says, yo! Harrison, I blamed you for my battery dying. I'm just saying. Whoa. Why didn't it pop back on? What's happening here? Uh-oh. That's a weird combo. I don't know. So let's just roll the B-roll of the Frey Ranch. How about that? Because my stream's gotten all types of messed up tonight. I blame Harrison again. Just want to blame somebody, so we're going to blame him for now. What the fuck is happening? I've never had that happen. Jake Plays Blackjack says, I got 2 bottles of Jack's Single Select. Hell yeah. I hear those are great. I personally actually haven't even had those. Lane says, what's your favorite way to make an old fashioned? Let's make an old fashioned here in just a second, and I'll show you. Jacob says, you said that, and the first thing I thought of was you drinking and driving. Oh, sorry. No. I don't drink and drive. It's a drinking stream. It is a drinking stream. I don't drink and drive, though. I'm pretty big on that, weirdly enough. Norfolk says, hit the like and subscribe, boys and girls. Join for the great pours, even better discussions. North Florida, if you want to drop the Discord link one more time. Guys, one more announcement before I start making cocktails and stuff like that. We do have a fantasy football league. I have 4 slots available as of right this second. Not that they're not going to fill up. So if you guys are into fantasy football, there's no buy-in. It's going to be a 12-man league, full PPR. Winner kind of takes all type of thing. I'm going to do a cash giveaway. Plus, I'm probably going to do like a year subscription to Blind Barrels or something like that. I'm still working on the prize portion of it. But make sure you kind of tune in for that. If you're into fantasy football, go to the post or join the Discord. Join the Discord if you want to message me directly. Go to the post if you want to just try and join in. You can just comment saying, "Hey, I want in," and I'll email you, and we can work something out. Harrison says, "I'm sipping on stuff you hate, brother." McAllen 12. Hold on, Harrison. Major X just subscribed. Major, welcome to the stream, baby. Don't you have your own channel? I'm like pretty sure like I've seen you like a million times. I appreciate you subscribing. Hold on. Harrison, which Macallan are you drinking? The 12? 12 double oak? If it's the double oak, I'm going to drink this with you. Hopefully not, but. Andrew says Knob Creek bourbon or rye is my favorite base for an old fashioned. Stop it. They're good, Andrew, but they're not great. All right, real quick, I'm going to go grab some ice, and we're going to make an old fashioned. So let me, oh, I broke my big glass. I broke my cylinder. I forgot about that. The dishwasher took her out. I'll be back in just a second. Let's make an old fashioned. Harrison says yes, he's drinking the double oak. Christian in the chat says, "What's up? Call me old fashioned. Just want to stop in and say what's up." Christian, I appreciate that as always. Thanks for stopping by. Make sure you drop a little like on the stream. Christian, if you like fantasy football, you better let us know, because I'm here to spank everybody's ass this year. So, if you want in on the fantasy football league, I need answers tonight, tomorrow morning. I gotta build the list out. So Andrew says, "Listen, something about it just works for me. 100 proof is sweet, spot in the whiskey cocktail." Andrew, I'm not arguing you. 100 proof is phenomenal for an old fashioned. It's just a Knob Creek thing. I'm not a big Knob Creek fan though. So Major says Knob Creek 18 is like 20% to the oaky. I like oaky. Andrew says, "I will not tolerate the Knob Creek 12-year slander, Geraldo." To be honest, the Knob Creek 12-year is the only one that I like. Actually, I like personally like. Raging Cajun says, "Cheers all late night whiskey sippers." Raging, welcome to the stream, baby. Drop a like, boys, if you haven't already. Subscribe, of course, if you aren't already. That'd be crazy if you're not. I'm gonna check if this camera's broke. Don't know what happened to my stream. The whole stream went haywire as soon as Harrison got here. I'm not saying it's his fault, but I'm saying it's his fault. Didn't even put the mic back on. All right. Let's make an old fashioned. So I'm gonna make you. Let's make my favorite old fashioned for right now. Just so you guys know, for clear ice, I either make my own or I buy it from Total Wine. Total Wine's super cheap. They have it in the cooler right before you check out. You do need to let it temper and just sit there. I learned that word from last stream. So shout out to whoever told me that. That's the proper way to say it. Yeah, North Florida says farm strength fragrance is a banger too. It is phenomenal. I only pulled that video up because that's the only way my stream looks good apparently right now. But my go-to before typically was the Woodford's Double Oak, right? Phenomenal bottle, phenomenal old fashioned. My only issue with it is it's not high proof, or not higher proof, right? So when the water and the bitters and everything hits it, it just kind of dips down a little bit. The one that I find is better is really this Peerless Double Oak, right? It's made, like, unfortunately, I hate to like admit it, that it knocked off the Woodford's Double Oak. Major says, "You boil your water first." So I do the weird old trick for my clear ice. I have the red, like, crappy cooler thing. I fill it with like Publix distilled water. I put that in the freezer. I personally don't think boiling the water, distilled water, anything like that matters to the clarity of the ice, because I've used tap water and it works out just fine because all the impurities float to the top as it freezes, Because what happens when you do it in that cooler method, if you guys haven't seen it, I made a full video on this cooler thing about clear ice. And I eventually used tap water. And the ice kind of freezes down. All the purities go to the top, and then it freezes properly. And then you just have to carve it up. It's a little bit more work, but I bought a 6-pack of this for $3. And this is pretty clear. It's perfectly cubed. It's a little smaller than I like. I like it a little bigger. But Major says, so the Woodford's is not high enough proof for me. I agree. That's kind of my only complaint. I love the taste. Like, if you talk about Woodford's Double Oak and that first initial sip on the Old Fashioned, it's phenomenal. It's just like a minute in, it starts to get a little you know what I mean? So, North Florida says, my favorite Old Fashioned bourbon is Foolproof Benchmark and Foolproof 1792. Both make great cocktails. Don Fingers in the chat says, Woodford Reserve Double Oak is my go-to pour, but I haven't really been digging into Pursuit United Double Oak lately. Oh, but you have. I haven't bought the Pursuit Double Oak. I was supposed to. We had a mix-up. That's a long story. Woodford's Double Oak is my go-to. It's the bourbon that got me into bourbon. But this Peerless Double Oak it changed some things. So let me make you my go-to Old Fashioned right now. So we're going to start off with, you got your jig, and I'm going to pour basically a 1/4 ounce of the Woodford's Reserve Old Fashioned cocktail syrup. This is my typical go-to on stream. I do make it off stream too, so don't let me like knock it like it's not something good, but there you go. Ugh. Okay, I can't get it to focus on that, but it is what it is. Old Fashioned, you can get the Woodford's Old Fashioned cocktail syrup at most Publix's or really any liquor store that does cocktail syrups. Pour that in your glass. Let's go ahead and pour in your bourbon. I like to use the same side just so I can kind of rinse it. 1, 2 and a half. So 2.5 bourbon, or 2.5 ounces typically is my go-to. I like to vary that around as well. I also like to use cherries. Some people use oranges. I like cherries. I like the Woodford's cherries, but they go bad really quick. So unless you really are committed to keeping them in the fridge, I would go with something like the Filthy cherries or Luxardo. Luxardo is good. The Filthy's is just as good as black cherries. So I like to take a kind of spoonful of that, plus get the cherry juice in there too, and then kind of give it a little mixy mix, right? Put the cherries over to the side. Let's go ahead and take my ice now that it's kind of tempered out and mix that, put that in, give it a little mix. So for me personally, especially when I use double oaks, I like to kind of give it a little taste test first and figure out if I want to smoke it basically. Now, when I use a cocktail syrup and I use cherries, I don't typically want to go sweeter on the wood chips. So if I smoke it, it's going to be with the walnut chips. This smoker in particular is a Grain 7 smoker, which is also the chips that I have in there. But let's take a sip first. Oh, fuck me, that's good. That like spanked you. That one's like, ooh, you're there. Let's smoke it because I like a good smoking. I can't find my typical lighter. I normally have like a proper torch, but I do have my my Ace of Spades lighter, which is also a torch lighter. So we're going to use this. It's not my favorite lighter to use on a cocktail, I will say. All right. Now I do have a box smoker. I don't use the box smokers inside because it just fogs the entire room out. I have a kid, you know what I mean? I want to try and be as incognito as possible. So that's why. But I did use the walnut chips. That was what was in there. Christian says, you sold me. I'm making old fashioned before bed. Hey, I'm just trying to give you a little nightcap, you know? Norfloor says, I just tried the Peerless Storm Pick. It blew my dick off. Really good stuff. Just can't find it at a good price. The Peerless prices are up and down. Joe Waters in the chat says, hell yes, great old fashioned. I'm here for it. That's what I'm here for. Says, still can't find the Jefferson's Cash. I did find a Stag. 24D though. What do I have? I have the 24C is what I have. All right, let's pop her off. Kind of a weak smoke, but that's okay. It didn't really need it as much. Cheers, boys. Like that right there. You can't ask for more from an old fashioned. Unless you're like, ooh, I want it lower proof and I want it lighter. You know what I mean? Like you can't get any more pick here. It's sweet, right? Don't get me wrong. The way I make an old fashioned is typically a little sweeter. Geraldo says preferred chips / flavor. I mean, ideally, I love like either just typical oat chips or cherry chips. But if I know I'm going to use cherry chips, I want to use less cherry syrup. But I knew I was out of cherry chips, so I went walnut chips and just kept what was in there. Major X says, if you like smoky old fashions, you're ready for a peated scotch. Am I ready? I don't know. I haven't found any scotches that I've like personally liked. Major X, what if from based off what you've just learned, what scotch should I try? Jacob says, cheers everyone. I gotta get some sleep. Jacob, appreciate you stopping by. Thanks for subscribing. Thanks for liking the stream, and we will see you next week. Next week, we're going to go live. We may go live during the week to test out a couple midday or midweek streams. If not, we'll go live Friday. But also, we may go live Saturday just because of the fights for the Dustin Poirier fight. Joe says, I still have 24A, B, and C. I finished off both C and D. C was better. Stag, I mean. No, I get you there. Geraldo says, night, Jacob. Pecan chips are also great. I don't have any pecan chips, though. Brendan says, favorite $30 bottle. I don't know any $30 exactly. So let's just go Old Granddad 114 for under 30. How about that? Northfloor says, got to get the Jeffs, then Joe, and give us a review. North Florida, I may have just like completely blanked out what we're talking about here, but what are we talking about? Major X says, old fashions were created to help bad whiskey taste better. I understand that. And I understand there is a particular way of where most people should make old fashions. And I agree. But there is a personal way I like old fashions that fits me perfectly. And that's what I do. And I will say, the more expensive whiskey or the better whiskey I put into the old fashions, it does make an better old fashioned. But I agree, it's also a waste. So I'm going to drink my whiskey the way I like my whiskey. And at the end of the day, it's okay because I'm the one wasting the money on it. Joe says, Sazerac for cocktails or Benchmark? Brendan. Both would be great for cocktails, in my opinion. Jura 10 or 12? Okay, I hear you. Let's find those. Harrison says, midweek, yes, please. Harrison, just because you responded to it, what day would you want? Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Give me a day. I'm going to look at the analytics. But I want to know your thoughts before I look at the analytics. Norfolk says, Jefferson Reserve cast strength is very similar to the Stag Junior. In some people's opinion, including mine, would love to hear somebody else's take. There is zero chance that Jefferson's Reserve cast strength is similar to the Stag. I would love to do that review because I can bet your ass it's not. I like Stag. I love Stag. I hate Jefferson's. There's no way they're similar. If they are, good congrats to Jefferson's for figuring it out, though. Brendan says, I feel like an unpopular pick, but my favorite $30 bottle is 1792 small batch. I wouldn't say it's unpopular because a lot of people like 1792. Personally, I don't like 1792 anything. The small batch, the bottle and bond, the full proof, or any of that stuff. And it's only because the way when I drink it, it dries my palate out for some reason, and I can't get over it. I'm the only one I've ever heard say that. So I'm just a weirdo, but I like that you have a different pick than everybody else. So congrats to you. Geraldo says, just cracked the Star Hill, and honestly, Tuesday, you know, Harrison, it's like we're twins. You're like reading my mind. I thought about Monday, but a lot of people go live on Monday. Obviously, the homie goes live on Wednesday, so I can't do that. Tuesday would be a solid pick because I don't want to do Thursday and then Friday too, if worst case. So you kind of picked the perfect day, Harrison. I'm here for it. Guys, keep a lookout for a Tuesday stream. Christian says Tuesday or Thursday, and I'd be there. Okay, boys. Let's lock her in on a Tuesday. Major X says, call me old-fashioned. I was just commenting on the history of an old-fashioned. I agree. Drink how you want. I make crazy old-fashions all the time. No. I'm not giving you shit. I give everybody shit. So if you did think that, it's not. I just give everybody shit. I do know the history of an old fashioned. People come in here all the time. And they're like, oh, you got to use an orange peel and you got to do this. And I'm like, understandably, but I'm gonna make a weird ass old fashioned and I'm gonna like it because at the end of the day, I got to drink it. But it really was meant to make really bad whiskey taste better in this fancy shot form, right? I feel bad sometimes because I really love New Riff 8-year in this old fashioned, the same version of what I just did, but it's kind of a waste because that's expensive whiskey over there. 8-year is not cheap, so it does make a kind of a pricey old fashioned. It's the only time I've drank it recently. Major X says 1792 always drinks hot to me. I don't know if it drinks hot for me. I haven't really drank it in a while, but it just really, all of them dry my mouth out super heavy. The higher proof, the less it is, but the small batch was the worst. Yet to try the benchmark lineup? Ooh, you should. I have the bonded, the single barrel, and the full proof. Obviously, I think the full proof is the best, but that's just my opinion. North Florida says Jefferson sourced their juice, so they may get lucky and get a great barrel for this cast strength. If you have it, we need to link up North Florida because I got some bottles I can give you, and I need some samples. Oh my God! Brendan says, has anybody tried the Old Fitz 7-year? Not me. I can't find it, but everybody else in the chat has, so they'll let you know it's great. North Florida says it's a banger. Major X says, whiskey used to come in fish and pickle barrels. Ooh, a little pickleback? That'd be probably pretty good. Andrew says, I really like weird old fashions. The other day, Maker's Mark cast strength Demerara syrup, orange bitters, chocolate bitters, and a spoonful of Woodford's bourbon cherries syrup. Surprisingly tasty. Andrew, very far back on my channel, very far back, like beginning 2024 or 2023. I don't remember when I started. I made a chocolate old fashioned. I used Woodford's double oak. I used Mexican chocolate bitters from Hella, the Hella brand, Mexican chocolate bitters, chocolate Ghirardelli chocolate as a garnish instead of a cherry. I also put cherry syrup in it and spiced cherry bitters. I think I used simple syrup. I'm not sure, but I made a chocolate old fashioned. It's phenomenal. So go back and watch that if you like chocolate old fashions. But anyway, this old fashioned is phenomenal. Let's finish this up with one last pour. Correct. So Major X says, Andrew, use honey as a syrup. You won't be sad about it. I love honey as an old fashioned like syrup. My only issue with it is I'm obviously in a room, right? If you can see my room, I'm in like a bedroom. It just looks fancy. For me to make a mess in here is a fucking nightmare. Hence why I use cocktail syrup rather than just crushing my own. Like, just to put in perspective, I have my own cube sugar in here. I actually make old fashions proper ways. I make things a little easier when I'm on stream and I'm trying not to make a big mess. It's harder for me to clean up in here. That's an excuse, granted, but the honey is phenomenal in an old fashioned. I had somebody use honey, orange bitters, and rye in an old fashioned. I think it was Artful's channel, who's usually in here, is phenomenal. Major says Detling makes a great chocolate old fashioned. I just passed on a Detling and everybody's giving me shit in that video. I know I shouldn't have passed on it, but that is what it is. Brennan says, I've only opened the Havana and was not impressed. It's okay. It's not bad. It's not phenomenal or anything like that. It's good if you like maple. It's good for like a half a pour, and I'm good after that. I don't need a bunch. Andrew says, sounds awesome. I'll find the video and I'll give it a try. I made a chocolate old fashioned once with the new Riff winter whiskey. If you know anything about that bottle, it was a chocolate bomb. I did hear it was a chocolate bomb. I have not. I bet you it would be good in like what I'm referring to, but I haven't had it to really give you clarity. But Geraldo says, Redwood Empire Pipe Dream pour. Which one you want? I got Pipe Dream 101, Pipe Dream Cast Strength. Pipe Dream is phenomenal. I love Redwood Empire. We can do that as the last pour for sure. Brendan says, I hope the Rio is better than the Havana. I do like the Rio better than the Havana, but they're both sweet. They're both like dessert-esque pours. I could probably drink the Rio more than I can drink the Havana, but they're both very sweet. So just go in knowing it's sweet. The Rio is made with honey and Amarana, so it's like cinnamon toast crunch, like cereal vibes. But like, I would say warm up with like something basic. Whatever your like cheapest pours is, start off with something like that, and then move into like a half a pour to a full pour of the Havana or the Rio, and that should make the experience just a little bit better. Geraldo says dealer's choice. Personally, my favorite Pipe Dream is the 101. I feel like Pipe Dream White Label is good, but it's lacking the proof. Pipe Dream Cast Strength is great for the proof, but it's a little hot. And then on top of that, the price is just kind of absurd for 80 bucks. Pipe Dream 101 has that perfect mid-range proof, perfect. It has a different mash bill than both the others by slight, just very slight, which adds an extra bit of spice. And it's also cheaper. It's like 50 bucks. Christian says, just made an old fashioned with Wild Turkey 101. Threw some honey in it. Pretty good spice. Pretty good spice to it. Christian, welcome to the late night pour, baby. It sounds phenomenal, to be honest. Brandon says, only a year into bourbon? Hey, nothing wrong with that. I think within the first like 3 years, people are really kind of learning what they like, learning different bourbons. So I'm fully okay with like people like just testing out stuff, like figuring out what you like. It's okay to like make weird shit and do weird things with bourbon, you know? I think next Friday or next Saturday, if I go live on a Saturday, if I go live during the week, during the fights, I think we're just gonna blend whiskey. I'll let you guys pick what we blend and stuff like that. So, Brendan says, hot take. I absolutely hate Wild Turkey 101. Brendan, blasphemy. Let me give you what I thought, because I also thought like Wild Turkey 101. Oh, there's better stuff. Because I have the 8-year, I have the 70th anniversary, I have the Wild Turkey. I have a Rare Breed. I have Wild Turkey Kentucky Spirit. I got a bunch of like similar stuff, right? I did a blind of the 8-year, the 70th anniversary, and the 101 without knowing the 101 won. Crazy. I was actually shocked that it won, but it did. It was the lightest. It was the thinnest, but it was also like the most fruit forward. It's actually really good, in my opinion. Nico in the chat says, favorite bourbon for an old fashioned? Big fan of Buffalo Trace. I like Buffalo Trace. And when I first started, that was like our go-to, right? I think that was everybody's kind of go-to for a while. If you want similar proof, Woodford's Double Oak would be a good move to the next stage. When you're ready to increase the proof, you should go either Heaven Hill Bottled and Bond, Old Grandad 114, or if you're feeling real adventurous, Benchmark Full Proof. They're all going to be in that budget range, so you're not going to kill the bank. You're going to be able to test it out. So they all make phenomenal old fashions. North Florida says Pipe Dream 101 is a solid bottle for an old fashioned or straight. Personally, I will say I don't care for this as an old fashioned. I do like it straight. Andrew says, never had Pipe Dream 101. Curious to hear a live review on it. I mean, I will kind of give you the rundown like I give most people. The farther we get into a live stream, the less I personally like review it. I do have a full video on it if you want like my professional take on it, but I'll give you my quick thoughts on it. I need some water. Major X says, North Florida chicken cock is fantastic. If you can go to the distillery in Bardstown, go. I've never actually had chicken cock other than anything that I haven't liked or disliked. I've never got anything that I actually like, is the way I can put it. But I would love to go to the distillery and find something. All right, let's finish up the final pour of the night. We're going to do Redwood Empire Pipe Dream 101. Let me pull up their stuff real quick. All right. So this one, again, like I said, it is slightly different than everything else. All the other pipe dreams. The mash bill has been tweaked slightly. because this is when they started distilling and doing their own stuff. So mash bill is going to be 73% corn, 19% rye, 5% malted barley, and 3% wheat. This is going to have an age range of 5 years to 15 years. So it's a blend of all the other pipe dreams, I guess. Proof is going to be obviously 101 proof. This is release number 1. Let's dive into the nose, and then we'll dive into the palate. My nose is probably pretty fucked up right now. I'm like stuffed up a little, so. I mean, right off the bat, you kind of get a little caramel, a little honey. Yeah, like caramel, honey, and like herbal is the way I can describe that nose. Let me be transparent. The more I drink, the more my nose kind of gets stuffed up. So on these live streams, the longer we get, the more I'd say like don't trust it as much. We're almost on hour 3. So kind of is what it is. So be careful with that. Andrew says, oh yeah, you had quite a few pours tonight, man. I'm not expecting a full detailed review on it. Thank you. Brendan says, I have an Eagle Rare store pick. It's very nutty to me. Not sure if it's just a pick I got, but definitely don't get grape. I heard people get grape, and I'm like, I've never had grape on an Eagle Rare before, but crazy. So let's dive into the palate. My palate's always pretty spot on. I will say that. To each his own, but I personally, I'm like, I got that. The nose is where I fuck up. Like, just for all the new people in the chat, really ever since COVID, my nose has never been the same. I lost my sense of smell and taste, and it slowly came back, but just not to what it used to be. So I sound like an excuse. I'm just letting you know me a little bit. So let's dive into the palate, let you know my thoughts. This bottle would have been open for about a year now. Year? Less than a year. Oh, fucking shit, like 6-7 months, actually. So, let's dive in. Cheers. Again, if you didn't cheers me, I'm pissed. I'm just saying. God dang. I'll say kind of right off the back, the 101 proof, it drinks a little higher, which I like. That's all I could ever ask for, is for it to drink higher proof, right? It's got a lot of spice on the back end. I do have a cut on my tongue, so if you see me making a weird face, that's why. I would say it has a little hint of caramel, a little hint of vanilla, just kind of like basic notes. But then it kind of moves into like this, like lemon shortcake vibes, right? You ever had like the pineapple upside down cake? Think that, but with lemons. This is what I'm picturing in my head. Hopefully I'm painting that picture better. Yeah, like lemon, like pineapple upside down cake without the pineapple. I'm thinking like sugar cookies from Christmas. I'm thinking caramel and vanilla. I'm thinking cinnamon or some kind of spice. The spice is hard to detect because it's on the back of the palate. It's like on the back as it kind of like goes towards the finish. The finish is incredible. Love the finish. But it's just like a little, it's spice. I can't tell what it is. So I'm going to guess cinnamon. Major X says, haven't had any Redwood Empire. Heard they were all minty. I wish they were all minty. I love a good minty note. The ryes are for sure. They do have a mint note. This does not have a mint note. This one has like more of like a random fruit note with a little bit of a cookie note. I feel like I should be drinking it during winter, but I know it's not winter, so it's a little bit different. So it's strange, but like in a good way, right? Like the Pipe Dream 101 or the Pipe Dream regular Pipe Dream is like just sweet, light, and approachable. The Pipe Dream Cask Strength is like high proof and it's kind of just a little intimidating to approach it. It's sweet still, but you're kind of like fighting through that proof. This one is like a solid middle ground. If there was ever a Redwood Empire that I would ever recommend, it would be this one. Geraldo says, what's the Discord? North Florida, are you still in here, bud? Can you drop the Discord, or if not, I can find it. Oh, North Florida's still in here. North Florida will drop the link to the Discord. You may have to copy and paste it, though. North Florida says, I get fruit on that 101. Love some Redwood. Keep it on the shelf. The 101, I do think, personally, in my opinion, just to put it in perspective, I have a shelf. This whole shelf is Redwood Empire. If you told me to pick one, I'm picking this one. This is it. This is the one. It is the mid-price, the mid-proof, mid-everything. Personally, I think that is the best one, in my opinion. Now, you can make some arguments, right? Like if you're a big fan of wheated, or if you're a big fan of rye. The Devil's Tower rye is like a burr rye. The Screaming Titan is like a wheated. Again, you can make some arguments, but I think that one is the best value. Yeah. Here's the link to the Discord, boys. North Florida just comment or copy and paste it. Join the Discord. It's free. It costs nothing as of right now. I like to shit talk all you boys and hang out with everybody. So Major X says, which old Redwood is that? This is the Redwood Empire Pipe Dream 101. So yeah, 100%. Release number 1. Phenomenal bottle. Well, all right, boys. Well, let's go over a couple pieces of news, in a sense, before we move past it. Guys, if you haven't already, drop a like on the stream. Subscribe if you haven't already. We do go live every Friday around 10 p.m. Eastern Time, but we're going to switch it up. We're going to do some weekday streams. We're going to do some Saturday streams. Kind of make sure we fit everybody's schedule. On top of that, if you guys are interested in the Fantasy Football League, this is going to be the second year we're doing it. No buy-in. All you got to do is participate. By participate, I do mean be active. Like, don't just let your lineup sit there. I'll be pissed. I'll delete your shit. I don't give a fuck. So, if you want to be part of the Fantasy Football League, we're going to do a cash prize plus a giveaway of some kind of bourbon. I'm personally thinking maybe like an annual subscription to the blind barrels plus cash. So that way you guys can decide what you want to do with the cash. You can obviously have some blind barrel stuff. We may have more. I have a couple other sponsors I'm trying to work with now. So I'm going to fill up the teams. It's going to be a 12-team league, full PPR. We're going to do the draft somewhere towards the end of next month, right before the first week of regular season, obviously. So if you want to be part of the Fantasy Football League, definitely. There is 2 ways to try and join. You can either join the Discord link that North Florida just commented, which is also on the screen. It's hard to copy, but I get it. And if you can't do that, there is a post on my YouTube channel on the post tab where I basically am saying the same thing I'm saying now. All you got to do is comment and say, I want to join. I'll comment you my email. you email me back and I'll send you a link to join if it's not already full. So the quickest way is Discord. But if not, there's other ways. So let's check the chat. Brendan says, I'm on mobile. How the hell do I copy that? Facts. I don't know. I'm Brendan. I wish I had an answer for you. I don't know. North Florida says, Redwood Empire. Actually, you know what? Let me do this. All right, so just to make it easier for everybody else, this is only temporary. I'm not going to leave this up there. If you go to the post tab where I made the Fantasy Football League post, in the description of that post, I copied and pasted the Discord link, so you can feel free to join that way. So you can copy and paste it from there. Geraldo says, what's Discord? It was on screen. I can't change it from there. Andrew says, if you screenshot it, you should be able to copy it from your camera roll if you have an iPhone. Andrew's living in 2027, if you ask me. Major X says, going to hit the hay. Just join the Discord. Thanks for the chat. Major X, appreciate it as always, bud. Thanks for tuning in. I'm about to hit the cafeteria because I'm fucking starving. Brendan says, had no idea you could do that, Andrew. Thank you. Andrew's out here teaching everybody everything because I didn't know that either. Barrels to Bottle says, just found some Jack Daniel's single barrel or Coy Hills. I got a 1-09 barrel house, which is Coy Hill. It tastes like bubble gum. I hear some people can find them. I don't have any, but hell yeah. I hope you have one. I hope you're happy with it. I don't have one. Andrew says, no problem. Glad I could help. Norvoy says, don't forget to smash the like button and subscribe. Already joined and posted, Geraldo said. Appreciate it, boys. As always, this is where we end the stream. We do go live. I may go live at a random time, so make sure you turn the bell on. But I appreciate you boys hanging out with me. We went live for 3 hours tonight, which is not as normal, but close enough, right? I normally go live for a while, so I'm going to take that for the win as it is. I'm going to fix the way my stream looks because it kept fucking up. But as always, ladies and gentlemen, if you haven't already, like, subscribe, do all that jazz, and I will see you on the other side. Peace.